What's up, you filthy casuals? Welcome to the last
neighbors.
Hey, neighbors! Welcome to the last ever episode of Casual Shenanigans Gaming,
and my last night, my apartment.
the podcast all about the irreverent love of gaming. I'm sorry. Oh, you were in your other. That wasn't that. You're being melodramatic. All right. I'm one of your hosts, Jeremiah. Tonight, I'm joined by the wild card Joel. Whoopoo! Papa James.
What's up?
And Ranger Dave, the best beard in the business.
Merchandise now available.
Making the money.
Actually, guys, on that note, to start out our last episode, I've got a little surprise announcement. We talked years ago about finally updating our Casual Shenanigans merchandise. So to celebrate the ending of the podcast, we finally have updated Casual Shenanigans Gaming merchandise on the Ranger Dave store.
I will be taking all the profits.
It is shop.spreadshirt.com/RangerDave. And I wanted to show you guys, if you bring up the link, I'll post it here in the chat so you guys can open it up. I put together from Uncle Paul's illustration for our game that Joel made for us. I put together a t-shirt for the Magic Castle the Last Night with his illustration. It has an illustration of all of us in our different characters. It's Tactical Daisy Dave, Joel with his work shirt, which he's wearing right now. Giant
hulking his work shirt, like he's got one work shirt.
Yes, too.
His work shirt.
Yes, too. But it's a really fun illustration. Only
And then James's magical hands. Whee!
James is a wizard. This is the shirt right here I'm talking about. That was a super fun illustration that Paul did for us of all the podcast hosts. So yeah, that's finally live, just in time for the end of the podcast. Updated merchandise.
If you purchase them now, while we're doing the live podcast, Dave will do triple dabs. He will if you buy it.
Oh, and also apparently
There's debate going on in his head. I see it.
there's also apparently 15% off on the store for the next 3 days, but I didn't activate that, so that's just
I was
Spreadshirt.
gonna say, what type of sneaky intro? There's apparently what is this, a deal?
You mentioned that to us earlier.
That already expired. Apparently Spreadshirt has a promotion like
I'm just
every
kidding.
week.
I'm kidding.
Oh, because there was a promotion literally last week for the exact same amount. Anyway, at long last, I think I'm going to finally update my Casual Shenanigans.
I mean,
shirt.
it looks really nice. Like it's all worn in now. That one's vintage.
It's pretty cool.
There are not very many of those.
There's two of them.
Yeah.
Joel, me too.
For Burley, I always read your new name Dave as Ranger Dave Whitey. I don't know what. Whitey? Oh, so funny.
All right. As always, you can follow us.
For the person doing vodka shots during each merchandise plug, enjoy rehab.
You can follow us on Twitter at Casual Shenanigans. Don't know why you'd want to. And you can write in to be a part of the final show if you're watching live, casualshenanigans@gmail.com. If you're not watching live, there's really no point in writing into the show. I'm sorry. But I'm going to start with some mail. This mail is from Maddie. Maddie says, "Hi guys, I'm your one follower from Argentina. I'll be honest, since I watched last podcast, I've been thinking about the podcast and how long it's been a thing in my life. This won't be one of those your poop jokes cure my illness type of letters. It's just a nostalgic trip.
Waffle stomping. Cheers.
I started watching you guys years ago. I was living with my parents. I just finished school, and I was obsessed with the DayZ standalone. I needed to know everything about it, and I found these two guys who shared my hype for the game." He doesn't share which two guys.
It's clearly me and Joel. We love DayZ.
Time passed. I'd moved to a different city. I was in college and living by my own. My English started getting better, among other things, thanks to your podcast. I got myself in a US-based Teamspeak gaming group, and they became great friends of mine. I've been playing with them ever since. I finished my studies. I came back home with my parents. I started dating a girl. We've been together for over 3 years now. And the job lookout started. And this is all because of us guys, just
We
think.
could have hung out on our TeamSpeak.
Yeah.
They weren't that huge of a fan.
After some misses and awful jobs, I've decided to start my own business, and it's been growing really good. All that happened while I listened to you. That's how long you've been around. I used to live 13 hours away from my parents and my girl, so every time I was going to travel, I made sure I had at least 2 fresh podcasts downloaded, ready to listen on the trip. I made a Donald Trump impression in your Loopcast that won me Dying Light. I've rewatched it and it's very cringy. And before that, I won The Vanishing of Ethan Carter, a game I chose based on Dave's recommendation. It's been on my favorites game list ever since. It's also thanks to Dave I've learned about The Witcher 2 and have been the lore-oholic that I am. I couldn't play that without first playing the one before it and the third one after. My favorite game ever.
That's the gift that keeps on giving. Big old lore-aholic.
Damn, Dave, thanks. Remember Joel's Radio Book Club? Did that ever get to an ending? I was listening to podcast number 3 or 4 the other day. We were so naive about DayZ and the whole early access concept. We were really excited back then about, have you heard about early access? They'll let you play it while it's being developed. Thanks, you guys have been around for so long. You've given me so much entertainment. I really hope you find a way to maybe make a podcast every once in a while. No prep, but just talk about stuff. It's good to hear about you. It's been an effing awesome time. Goodbye, slap a seal.
That's
Thanks,
awesome.
Maddie.
And now the sadness starts.
I was gonna say, write in and let us know what podcast you're gonna be moving to, but now I'll never hear it.
This is the final podcast.
Crap I don't care about.
You guys should give away the unclaimed game keys. Here's the final podcast.
I think we gave those away a long time ago. I returned one of them to Steam, I think.
Yeah.
And put it back into the pot. Somebody asked, since for anybody who hasn't listened in a few weeks, why is this the last episode? I figured we could do the 5-minute version of we are shutting down the podcast, which may be a abrupt shock for some people listening to this. This is the last episode, short version. You can go back and listen to episode 217 if you want to hear the full explanation. But
Or 201 when we started calling it bonus episodes.
that's true. But we for years we've talked about if we ever got to the point where we didn't enjoy doing this anymore, we would stop. Because the main reason we do this is to have fun hanging out with each other, hang out with you guys, talk about games, and spend time together, all talking about something that we share a love for. And over time, we all, I think, have realized that we maybe were past the point where we were done doing what we really wanted to do with the podcast, and we were just kind of still doing it. And we still enjoyed doing it, but it wasn't like it used to be where it was, I don't know, fresher to us or something. Not that we still don't love hanging out with each other, and like the guys that we play with all the time, the guys and girls, like we love playing with you guys. Like none of that had changed at all. It was just doing the podcast wasn't as much fun as it used to be. And that doesn't mean we'll never do anything ever again, or some of us might do a podcast in the future or make some special videos or something. And me and Dave's channels aren't going anywhere.
Yeah.
This is just a decision by us to shut it down on our own terms while we still like each other. But no, it's our decision to shut it down while we're still on good terms with the podcast, right? Like we don't hate it or anything. It's not like that. It's just, it's run its course. We don't feel like we've got anything new we can do with it. And we'd rather just hang out with each other and play games at this point. So we're all friends. We wanted to get together and do this one in person.
I was literally about to grab her hand, like. All right, I'll hold you.
All right. So we'll do that at the end. We'll do that at the end.
Kumbaya.
All right. So, polluting trio.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we're all still good friends. We're going to be playing games together like we always did. Those of you who we play games with now, like we're still going to do that. None of that's going away.
Yeah.
Actually, we'll have more time to play games now because we'll have one more night a week where we're not having plays. No, get some.
Can I have some?
Yeah.
The soda.
Wait, if you're getting soda, no, put the Tennessee Fire. in.
Okay. Yeah, I'll do that.
Trust me.
Keep going. I'm listening.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, but that's really it. Like for anybody wondering, it's not like there's no money really involved with this. We appreciate everybody who's ever donated to support us on Patreon. It has paid to keep things going on the podcast. We haven't figured out the exact stuff yet, but we're planning on doing something good and charitable with a good portion of the money that's left over that we haven't spent, and then we're going to use some of the rest of it to keep like the community Teamspeak server up and going for a long while, and then when that's gone, me and Dave will just pay for it.
We're trying to convince Jeremiah to take a paycheck for literally years of editing the podcast to put up on the YouTube channel. He was supposed to be taking a cut out of each month's
Yeah, wasn't it
Patreon.
supposed to be 15%?
Something like that.
It was like 15 or 20%.
And he has taken zero money
Yeah.
for years of doing all of the editing, all the audio work for the podcast. So we're gonna like make him, I don't know, buy a
He's
tire
very
or something.
prideful and won't take it.
You think it's pride or stubbornness?
Maybe a bit of both.
That's the
Everybody's got secrets.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me. Pride or stubbornness?
What about Casual Shenanigans Tech?
We hadn't talked about that.
Chat wants to know. I say it's going the same way of the main podcast.
Yeah, well, look, here's our advice for the next year. Buy used GPUs, hunker down, have a pint, wait for this all to blow over.
You guys should check out the Lenovo 720 Cube if you're looking for a good value on a brand new computer.
Okay, honestly, with the CSG Tech one, if you guys go back to if you go back to any podcast and you ask the same question, you'll be able to figure it out. Like anything they say GTX, just add the next number, and
This
you'll
is
be
good
good.
advice.
Like
Yeah.
it will literally pretty much
the
be the exact
GTX
same.
971.
Yeah, like whatever it is, it'll probably be okay for the next 15 years.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no like.
It's tasty.
It is. I told you, it's good. How's it go with Coke?
It's Pepsi, but it tastes good.
Yeah, there's no real like secret or big hidden reason or agenda or anything else. None of us are moving to go join the games industry at this moment. Like there's none of that going on. It isn't because Dave is a big boy influencer now. It's a little bit.
He rebranded and didn't want us to be part of the new brand.
I'm a big boy now. I'm a big kid now, right?
William just wrote in and says, "Hey guys, thank you guys for being here. It's been around for so long, and because of Dave, I too have become a lore-aholic.
Yes.
I found you all recently, but I've been following General, now Ranger Dave, for about 6 months, and I've loved every stream. My thought was that you could play multiplayer games together, like Arma 3 or something. I don't know, but that would be fun. Stay cool, you filthy casuals."
I'm a little bit behind on the Arma videos for the look Jeremiah's giving me. He's like, we're playing every week. Like, what is he talking about?
Yeah, we're our group plays together pretty much every week. Dave puts up videos on a regular basis.
Last one was in December. I'm a little bit behind.
Semi-regular basis, and I haven't put up a video on my car channel in like 5 months, so...
Oh, Joel, you know what? With the podcast ending, we can now have 2 Arma nights, Monday and Thursday. Dude, you can come out to both now. We'll leave room for you.
Well, I was with Eggard on a ski lift. We were both laughing. Pretty much the 30-minute ride, because we got stuck up for a couple few minutes. We were just talking about Arma. But the best part is it kept going from conversations to things we don't enjoy. And then it like somehow kept going back like, do you remember that really fun game? What was it, the one where you had to like sit in vehicles for hours around? Like, I love that game. And then we paused and it was just like, ah! I bonded very much with Eggard that day.
So casual conversations.
Yeah,
They asked about that.
They didn't ask about that?
It's the same category.
Okay. James and I like doing them. We've done, 5? So it's not like we've been pumping them out exactly.
No, but now that we're not doing the podcast, we may
Yeah.
pump out some more.
Yeah, that's something to keep in mind. Don't unsubscribe to the channel unless you want to. That's fine. But don't unsubscribe to the channel or anything. Please stop supporting us on Patreon, though. We really appreciate it, but in good conscience, we don't want to take your money anymore.
Right.
But yeah, James and I might possibly do casual conversations in the future at probably the same rate we've done them before, maybe better. Who knows? But we could be better about that. Really, the only thing I'm disappointed about right now is Shane isn't awake. Shane's literally asleep right now.
Yeah,
Shane-
okay, so Shane had a really long day.
That's true.
So
That's true. I had a very good day.
yeah.
Very good day. But we actually don't really have an agenda for this podcast. We got a lot of mail to read, but
Yeah.
we just launched right into talking about games. We'll talk about what we're playing this week. Mostly the one game.
Kingdom Come Deliverance.
Yep. That's
I'm still here. I was ascending for a second there. Sorry.
Okay, so are you okay with us talking about it if we're spoiler free?
That's fine.
Okay, are you sure?
Yep.
Okay, cool. So we'll be spoiler free on the story. Kingdom Come Deliverance is out. If you guys remember, we had the devs on the show around episode 117, 118, I think. And we talked about it. Dave looked at it at E3 last year, and it's out now, and we can actually play it. So, what do you guys think?
You're going to hear nothing but praises here.
Joel last week told me, "Oh yeah, I'm getting some weird glitchiness. I got some other games I'm working on. I'm probably gonna set it aside. I'm gonna wait for the next patch." Joel said.
22 hours in.
you have played like 4 hours a night every day this week.
I've had to force myself away. And the best part is I'm forcing myself away while I'm sitting in like just a giant grassy field, and I see like a burned down little village over it, or like just like a little barn, and I'm like, just one more exploration barn, one more. Nope, gotta go to bed. It is glorious. It is seriously a dream come true of a game for me. Like, it really is. It feels like it's the best to me of Dark Souls, DayZ, and Elder Scrolls. That's what it is, it combines that, the sense of like of accomplishment of Dark Souls.
Pride and accomplishment.
Pride and accomplishment. Yeah, I forgot about that. You gotta get the pride in there. But like the Dark Souls for the combat, like it's a little wonky, you know what I mean? Like it takes a little bit used to, but because of that though, like the better you get, you really feel like you're getting better as opposed to just kind of hitting a button. It feels a little janky. I think they're gonna keep polishing up. But what they have, every encounter feels really intense, like the first time playing Dark Souls. So, but then you also have the exploration like Skyrim. There are seriously parts in the game where you see a forest in front of you and it looks really awesome. Like the graphics are not mind-blowing, but the way they put it all together and packaged it, it feels like something I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. So like you see this forest edge and you see the river going into it, and to me, it's funny, there's been times where I think, oh, I probably can't go there, like the game is gonna put up an invisible wall and I just can't go that direction. It looks too crafted to go there. Like it's almost like a Call of Duty background. Like it's really detailed, but you're kinda like, oh, I can't go that way, that just looks really pretty. No, you go over there, and all of a sudden you're following this little ridge, and there's an awesome like embankment and rocks and everything, and then a little tent and campsite, and the forest is extremely dense. And it reminds me of the first time playing DayZ, that experience of like, oh wow, what's that over there through the bush? I can go there?
Everything feels like a real place, because the entire world feels like it was handcrafted. Like every time you meander off the path, it doesn't feel like, oh, now I'm in, like, GTA 5. Like, oh, I'm in the spackle of bushes on the side of the hill. You feel like, oh, no, some designer spent, like, a week on this path that I just randomly decided to go
there's these
down.
creeks that really remind me of a place that, like, I've been before. You see the leaves falling on the rocks. And not everything is, like, the highest level texture. I mean, I'm playing on PS4 Pro, so I don't know if it looks that much better. But it's not, like, the best mind-blowing graphics. But how they put it all together, you're seriously exploring going, this is so cool, where like I want to go to the next bandit camp, take them out, like I'll like clean it all up there, I'll like drag the bodies away, but like then you just like sleep at the camp and you can't help one to go, oh, let me see if I have any meat in my bag, or let me eat some apples or food, and then I'll wait for the next day and then continue my journey. It like makes you want to like be immersed, and James, you're gonna like this. It reminds me of Fallout New Vegas in the sense of like when you see you see something far away and it takes you like a couple minutes to get there. It's so much more rewarding as opposed to like Fallout 4 where it was like building, and you almost want to avoid building so you don't like uncheck it. So then you're like, crap, did I go here? You know what I mean? This place really feels like, what's that in the distance? Go over there. You're like, oh, what is this place? It's a burned down barn, and I found inside a little treasure chest, and there's some money, and then it's really good. The story is really good too. Which I was actually really surprised by how interesting it is. It does take a little while to get into it to give you that feeling like if you like Elder Scrolls, it does take a little while to like let you go, hey, you are now free to go there. There's parts that you could, but it's hard to tell. It's like you kind of always feel like you're supposed to keep pushing on with the quest.
Yeah.
So I think that's one little negative where it's kind of like there should be a part where it says, hey, you can actually go explore for a little bit, level up your swords.
Yeah.
But once you really know when you can do that, it is so cool, James.
So 2 questions.
Yeah.
How long was the intro for you?
Hour and a half, I think.
The tutorial, I think maybe 2.5, but like...
Dave, how long was your tutorial?
Around 5 hours.
Okay.
Yeah.
I loved every second of it.
And have you run into any situations where you were supposed to complete a quest and decided to go off and explore and it like screwed up your quest? Because I've heard people say that.
I haven't had any quests screw up, but there's a part where it feels like I could go do something, and then all of a sudden it just like fades to black, and then I'm at this new area and I'm continuing the story, and I was like, wait, what happened here? So again, that's one of the things where I'm like, it would be awesome to see them polish that, because I think for newcomers thinking, people saying, hey man, it kind of feels like Elder Scrolls where you can go anywhere you want. The start, you're going to feel like, wait, I can't. Or can I? It's a little confusing. But if you like the story, just stick with the story for a little bit, and then you'll know when you're able to start doing stuff. Like, it's a little bit more noticeable, but right off the bat, it's just kind of cutscene after cutscene, do a couple things, cutscene. But the story is really good, so I was impressed. But yeah, give it some time, but it's going to be one of those games where I'm like, I guarantee I will have 200 hours in this game. No problem. It's going to be
The
good.
thing I don't know if I liked it or hated it about the Elder Scrolls games is that there was never any urgency to the quest. Like there were sometimes like rush, I'm like, oh, I gotta run, I gotta get.
Yeah.
And I was like, why?
Yeah.
You could literally come back 2 months from now and be like, we've been waiting for you by the Hellgate.
I got a story for that actually, James. I got stuck in a little bit of a repeating scenario in my playthrough where I felt like I almost couldn't get out of the main quest because in my immersion, where they would tell me like, oh, like you need to go here and report to this person to investigate this thing that's going on. Like I would go do it because I felt like I was really enjoying the story. Like Joel said, for this being their first game, let alone first story-based single-player game, the story's quite good. So I was kind of just rolling with it. But then I got kind of stuck in multiple big bursts of the main quest, and finally I got to a point where I'm like, I fought some people. My horse is like crushed under the weight of all this loot. Like I need to go repair some stuff. But they're like, you need to meet Captain Bernard at the stables. You need to ride to this town and investigate what just happened there last night. And I was like, okay. Like I've been running around for like literally hours now.
Because I'm tired.
I was like, I need to go sell some stuff. I'm going to sharpen my sword. Well, I was spending probably about 15 minutes sorting through loot, selling, repairing, all that jazz. Literally, as I finished and closed the blacksmith trade menu, a little thing pops up. Meet with Captain Bernard failed. They've left.
Did your heart like
Get crushed? It's like they've had to leave without you. You'll have to catch up. So
Dave, did you reload a save?
No, I have done no save reloading.
Okay.
No, and this has a system that mainly prevents that. You have to use a potion to save.
Or it's not like a multiple save slots.
Yeah, there is, but you have to have potions for it or use a mod.
Or a mod.
Okay, here's what's funny. Dave has installed the mod to save, but I have had no problems yet for saving whatsoever. And I was like, why is Dave having such a problem? Because Dave doesn't sleep in random beds or cots. He, for immersion's sake,
I go home.
I slaughter bandits and sleep right in their blood.
I slept in one campsite. I did sleep in one campsite, but for that quest, I literally, in a panic, ran from the blacksmith, and I saw all the horses, all the cavalry charging out of the castle without me. I'm like getting in the saddle. I'm like, wait! I had to sprint to catch up, but I was like, I love that. They gave me a couple of hours to kind of do my stuff, but me being me, I just took forever to go through my loot. I just loved that. For Kingdom Come, like the urgency feels like it is actually part of the game.
Yeah.
Like you do have to stay on point.
I think that'd be cool.
And the reason why I think I talked about it relating to DayZ is because some of the best parts of DayZ was there was a bit of jank in games that make sometimes games really special. And by this, and some of the charm is this. One of the experiences in this game is because it allows you to do so many different things in different ways. And some kind of like, it doesn't do it great, but it like, because it still allows you to kind of force brute through some areas, it's hilarious and fun. Like this example, like in a Skyrim or like in Elder Scrolls, if you sign on to be a guard duty, right? Like you're guard, they give you all the weapons and everything, right? Well, here's what's funny. In the game, James, I forgot that like you have to have sleep in the game. Like because I'm used to Skyrim. Like you hit the wait button, whatever. I waited. I was like, okay, I gotta meet this guy at noon. I gotta do guard duty, right?
Okay, I'm feeling good now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I got this crap, the shittiest armor, James. It's all torn and bloodied up because I don't have any coin to like. Because all my lockpicks broke from this training thing earlier, and I bought stuff. So I have no
You're
gold.
really living up the peasant life
I have
over
the
there.
crappiest little baton, right? And I have this like crappy helmet. I show up for guard duty. Well, my character literally is falling asleep, James. You see the eyes go like this, and I was like, "Why is my controller doing weird stuff?" I was running on 48 hours. Okay, and then it gets better, James. I'm thinking, "Crap, do I have any food?" I'm looking. I have no food, but I have potions. I'm like,
You think eating a bunch of food is gonna wake him up for some reason?
It gets better. So I go in and I hit the potions, thinking like the save one. I was like, let me just save just in case someone battles me because I had so little health. I had a death icon because I was dying from eating and death. Right? The guy's like, now you got to be vigilant. We make sure we check all the areas around, and I'm like, my character's going like this. So I get the potion. I drank the wrong ones. It's the savior snaps. I read it wrong, so I just drank schnapps or whatever it was, which is just liquor or whatever. So James, now my character's like completely out of focus.
He's on guard duty.
Yeah, and then the best, right?
Because
then
everybody had 48 hours to drink alcohol.
And then I found out, all of a sudden I started hearing farting and burping. My character is farting and burping because I'm like sick. I ate some poisoned food earlier, whatever. I got
Spoiled food.
Yeah. I got like whatever. So I'm feeling sick.
Fruit will rot if you keep it in your inventory for too long.
That's so Daisy.
So I go up and he says, deal with this situation. Some merchant's like having a fight, and I walk over and it only comes into focus when I'm like really close. My character's literally like swaying like this. In the cutscene, my character's going like this. Like, it was so funny. And I'm like, keep it together, keep it together. And I see the guard walk around the corner and he's like, follow me. I literally see a trough and I just go, you can like clean yourself to like whatever, like to present yourself better. I was hoping to see if that would like wake my character up. I barely made it through. As soon as we finished that quest, like at the end, the guard's like, all right, I'll see you later, whatever. I saw a door of an inn open. I just tore in there right upstairs and it says, you're in a private zone, like you get caught. I ran up and took a 5-hour nap in someone's bed. I woke up, the guards were like, we caught you sleeping in someone else's house. I was like 10 points. I'm like, shit.
This is his first night. I was guard.
Now, to show you the differences in this game, I'll tell you my story of going on the same guard meeting. So early in the game, there's a situation.
Jeremiah got up 2 hours early.
There's a situation that's more similar, unfortunately, than you think. There's a situation where there are a lot of dead people. Well, I am looking through the dead people's pockets to see what is available.
As you should.
And a lot of them have food. So I'm picking up all this food. I'm like, this is amazing. I'm not going to need food for a long time. Then I'm in town. Now I'm going to join the town watch just like Joel. I show up to the armory to pick up my armor, but everybody's asleep because I walked into the wrong room. And there were lots of weapons. So I was like, well. So I stole all their stuff. And then I saved the game and lock picked up in a crate. And I saved.
Yeah,
and then I lock picked.
Yes.
So my lock picks lasted. I hate the lock picking in this game. And I finally got it open. I took everything out of that. I went upstairs. I was like, so maybe it's up here. No, but it was another room with a bed. Nobody sleeping in that one. More weapons. Took all of them. Went downstairs, like holding all this stuff. Get to the army. They're like, oh, are you here to join the watch? And I'm like, yes. Clink, clink, clink. And so they give me my official
Forks, you're like still in place, they fall out.
They give me my town issued stuff, which isn't that great compared to the run I've had so far in the armory. But I'm really hungry. Now I have slept though, but I'm really hungry. But they're like, okay, we'll go meet the guy over there to go to the watch. I was like, okay, I can do that. It's like go anytime between 1 p.m. and 8 p.m. or something. Head over there and you can go on patrol. So I was like, okay. And then I was like, oh, well, I see this guard sleeping right here. I'm gonna pickpocket him. And I pickpocket him, and he catches me and sends me to jail. So I get out of jail 10 days later. In this game,
Oh my god.
jail is not like it's been 10 days, you're out of jail. No, it's watch the clock spin this quickly 10 times all the way around. It was like 5 minutes. I just sat and like browsed on my phone waiting for me to get out of jail. So I get out of jail, and I'm really, really hungry. Well, I open up my inventory, and I'm like, well, I got all this food that at this point is about 2 weeks old and did come off, not dead bodies, slaughtered bodies. And some of it, the health is at 0, and I eat one of it. I was like, well, maybe it won't do anything. But it does. So I'm like, oh, perfect. So I eat a bunch of mushrooms, eat a bunch of cheese, drink some wine, go out on patrol. And then my character starts doing the same thing where I all of a sudden started doing this and doing like farting, burping. Like I'll stop and wait for a couple seconds and then I'll get going again. And I'm just stumbling along, but I peacefully resolved a situation with a beggar.
Oh, nice.
And I beat someone to death. Separate situation.
What? All right, you know what? Let's just keep it going. I'll keep it vague as well. Let's hear about Sir Henry the Knight.
I have chivalrous things to talk about too, but you may go.
I'll go over my first
I ran down
night.
a peasant and killed him because I thought he was someone else. We can talk about it later.
My first night on this same class, I'll keep it vague as well. I love how different these stories are. I feel like Joel's is like the extreme, like literal dirty gutter peasant. Jeremiah's like I'm gonna get up in this world. Like I'm going somewhere. Like I'm climbing a ladder. Me, I'm
gonna
like
build a ladder out of melted metal that I'm stolen off everybody.
My playthrough in Kingdom Come Deliverance has turned into Henry is like doing his best to become like Robin Hood, but I'm still not super rich, so like I'm buying clothes that I can barely afford that are like super nice, but like I'm spending all my money keeping them repaired constantly. But
That is not Robin Hood.
Yeah, do you know the story of Robin Hood?
Yeah, Dave. That's not Robin. You're just becoming
It's Robin Hood's
Sir
Prince of
Lancelot.
Thieves, but But he's not really like a real prince.
But because I'm so rich, I'm giving tons of money to the poor.
How are you so rich already?
Okay, so for my first night on Town Watch, this is how I showed up, right?
I'd like to sleep in a gutter.
I went out and I fought some
Slept
bandits.
beside a beggar.
Slept beside a beggar.
I love the game. It's so much fun.
Okay, so this is how I start my... I didn't sit next to a beggar. My first night as Town Watch, James. I fought some bandits and of course brought a huge haul of loot back to camp. I didn't have a horse at the time, so it was like literally like I'm running it back. It took forever. But I sort when I loot by value and then weight. So I compared the most valuable item with the lowest weight. Gloves are gold. Leather's gold.
Like, I have not looked once at a stat yet. Not. Just like, no.
Oh, he's not doing looting right.
For my first night on the Town Watch, I slept in my own bed like a normal person, met the guard when I was supposed to. I had like 90 energy, which is like your sleep. And I had 95 nourishment, wasn't overstuffed, wasn't burping and farting. And then I had just finished reading the codex entry for the town I was in and reading about how the town guard worked as well. So I did my research with the codex. I then arrive and say, oh, go to the armory, pick up your weapon and armor like they told Jeremiah. However, I had just read the thing about the guard where it says that generally new guards were given like one cheap used helmet and like a club, basically. The starter kit.
Yeah,
and it's like,
that's what I have.
and it basically said like if you wanted to pursue this career as a guard, you had to eventually provide your own things. So I went to the armory, got my club and helmet, looked at it and said, well, this is garbage. Immediately, I went to the blacksmith. I had some
Being
time left.
the Robin Hood that he is. He's
Yeah,
like,
the
maybe
Robin
I won't
Hood.
give so much to the poor. A nice helmet and a nice club.
I go to the blacksmith. I sell what they gave me from the armory. I have a haggle perk where I have a second chance offer, so I can immediately
You
just...
already had that?
Oh, dude, I got that so
Oh
good. That's
my
my first
gosh.
perk was under speed.
Oh yeah, I can haggle too.
Oh, jeez.
I go for like
no,
the
the
maximum-
second haggle.
Oh, there's a second
second
haggle?
chance. So when I talk to a trader, I immediately ask for the maximum amount of money possible.
Because that's what Robin Hood does.
I get so pissed off. But
Where's Robin Hood from?
Yeah. Who is Dave actually role playing as? We need to know. James.
wait for it. Wait for it.
Ranger Dave.
I sell the goods to the blacksmith that they just gave me from the armory because they suck. They're terrible. I buy my first sword. It was like a robber's sword, so it wasn't a great sword. It even said... Joel's getting Skype messages. The sword even says in the description, like, more likely to break than actually be useful in combat, but it's my first sword, so I sharpen it myself. I buy the best armor I can afford, which isn't great, but I actually have a full set of armor and of my own sword. So I go to guard duty, full energy, full nourishment. I'm totally fine the entire night. This is where the Robin Hood part comes in. There was a couple scenarios I
I was
had to
waiting
solve.
for that because I haven't heard that yet.
Because I've been selling loot off, I resolved all the scenarios by throwing money at them. I was just handing
Bought
out
off. That's not Robin Hood. That's Donald Trump.
when they had issues with the poor in this town. I was just handing out grocery like it was candy. But basically, whereas these guys had their drunken first night on guard, I show up in a full set of purchased armor, fully awake, ready for Henry's first night as guard. Like, I just imagine him like all eager, like, oh, I'm so excited.
So when I was picking food off of the dead people, I heard a "Ah!" and I turned around and somebody was running off, and I thought it was a member of an opposing faction. So I go chasing after them because they're gonna go get their people, which at this point in the game is a threat. That's not really a spoiler, but they're gonna get them. So I start running after them. Well, I don't have a horse, so they disappear over a hill. So I sprint as fast as I can over the hill, and I can see them starting to disappear over the next hill. So I've got to run a little bit slow, let my stamina rebuild. I sprint over the next hill. I'm a little bit closer, so I'm like, cool, I got him. I'm gonna get this guy, and I'm thinking he's a soldier. And this proceeds over. It's probably the next 3 or 4 minutes. I'm chasing this guy down. I finally catch up to him. He is not a soldier. He's just some random dude who happened along the road. But now he's yelling a whole bunch of things like,
Hey,
I'm going to tell them I saw you looting. I saw you looting. So I kill him. First, chase him
Did
down.
you look around first or you like...
No, I was in the middle of nowhere. It was fine. But in the middle of town, I did... remember the person you meet at the beginning of the game, which you have the option to get into an altercation with?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, like the guy who your dad, he owed you that one.
yeah.
Right. I did not beat him then. I encounter him in the town later, So I'm like, well, all the other circumstances aside,
This beaten stick wasn't made for something else.
this beating stick wasn't made for something else.
It's just made for beating.
It's right there in the name. Beating stick.
So I fight him again, but I've leveled up a bit and I kill him. I thought I was just going to knock him out, but I beat him to death, and then my character throws him over my shoulder, and the guard's like, you! And I'm sitting in the middle, like, yes! I also went to jail for that.
I was
in jail.
You spent in jail.
I've been to jail a few times.
luckily if I
jail in real
Jeremiah, I always keep 50 gold on me in case someone comes to me and I pay my way up before you get out of jail. I'm like, I gotta keep 50 on me. So I was practicing pickpocketing, right? So this guy says, you should practice on like beggars or whatever. And I was like, oh, that's a good idea. So, but I didn't feel like running all the way back up to the town to go to try it on the beggars. So I go down to this like big lake, James, and there's this trail, and if you just wait there, people eventually just kind of like walk by. So okay, there's like a big long trail, and there's just one tree. And I'm like, and I'm waiting for the guy. I'm like, kind of like,
Are you the big bad wolf?
Yeah, I know. I'm like shifting around it. He like comes walking by. He's just like, like they got kind of a little wonky walk. Like
It's a happy walk. It really is a happy walk.
Yeah, they're like, yeah, we're having so fun. I like creeping behind
I
him.
was happy in the 1400s.
Creeping behind
I had
him.
the syphilis walk.
I hold the button. They hold this like one button to like you like have to slowly like try to like. And it says rummage. So
What was that?
at first, he literally turns around and goes, "What are you doing there?" or whatever. And I was like, "And I'm caught." And I kind of freaked out. I hit the left trigger, which is knock them out. But there's no animation. They literally just kind of flop over like. No punching or nothing. They just literally go, ugh. And I was like, oh crap, what'd I do? And he's just like all ragdoll. And I'm like looking, I'm like, huh? Like, is anyone coming? So I was like, grab the body, pull it over in the bushes, loot, and I was like, oh, someone might find him in the bushes. I chuck him in the river and he's just I'm like, hey, he's floating, he might wake up. Dave, I mean, James, you're gonna love it. It's really good. Like, if you can wait a little longer for the next couple patches, I think it's gonna be phenomenal.
Now.
But yeah, it's really good.
You'd love it, dude. We've said it so many times it's become a cliche, but it feels like the first time you stepped out into Oblivion and you went like, holy crap, I can go wherever I want, the world's going to react to what I do, and this is going to be an adventure. It is such an incredible game.
But unlike Oblivion, you're not going, oh my god, how long is this little cavern? I'm so tired of doing this.
I have not once in 22 hours seen a cave.
Nice.
I've seen several shafts.
Or go into the brothels, have you, Sir Henry?
Oh, I had this one task where I was supposed to steal back 50 gold from this guard. So this guard's sitting down in this chair, James, and he's inside this house. I climbed up on these barrels outside, and it's like an open window, and I'm literally reaching into the window trying to steal gold. And I'm like reaching, and I turn over, two guards are like, what are you doing there? And I was like, I'm grabbing, I'm like, shit. And then I come over, and I think there was a glitch where they both, so one guy came up to me, I had to pay him 20 gold to get out of going to prison, and then because the other guard saw me too, he came and got 25 gold too. I'm like, damn it!
Double jeopardy.
I was like, I could have just paid the guy who wanted to get the gold. Could have saved myself a trip. It's just great. Like, it just allows you to do almost more simple things in games. And I think that's what's fun. The same thing like when we first played DayZ, where you get into the most ridiculous scenario where like, guys, I'm stuck inside a room because I broke my legs, and it like became like this weird quest to do it. And I think that's what makes it fun, is that it adds this weird, like, kind of janky layer to it, but because of it, it does make it really fun. But I think the start can be a little bit of trouble to get through if you're not a huge arty fan of like maybe history and just sticking it through, because it does take a little bit to kind of like.
But if you go into that knowing it, and
Yeah.
just really just sit down and just like, really dive into it, you'll enjoy it.
Does either of you have the doc up? Joel, you got the doc up? Why don't you read the first bit of mail, Joel?
I just started. Damn. Sorry, I just got starving.
That's true. I did ask you right when you started chewing. Sorry about that.
Bear for 1 second. I'm almost ready.
Noah wrote into casualshenanigans@gmail.com, do part of the show just like you can. And then can you read the second bit of mail after that, James?
Sure.
Okay. Then I'll load more in there.
I got it.
Okay.
Noah wrote in, Jeremiah, James, Joel, and Dave. The four of you, along with the rest of this community, have done more for me than you could ever think possible. The CSG podcast has, for the last 4 or so years of my life, been something I look forward to with every new episode. This podcast has been with me through so many ups and downs, through most of high school, and then through most of high school. not near high school, but man, we've been doing it for a while.
Yeah.
It never mattered what the episode topic was or how long it lasted. Being able to come home from work and school to a new episode was always one of my highlights of my week. That may sound like an easy thing to say, especially over the internet, but I really mean every word of it. Through this podcast, I've discovered new games, new interests, and most importantly, felt like I was part of every episode. When life sucked, when I felt like crap after a rough week, listening to this show helped me. I have fond memories of literally laughing to tears while listening to this podcast. I'm looking at you, Waffle Stomp episode. Episode 139?
Yeah.
Episode 139.
139. Or you can see it in the clip show, episode 219, now live, Casual Shenanigans, YouTube stuff. All right.
And without this podcast, my gaming interests would not be what they are now. It sounds ridiculous, but listening to this show has become so ingrained into my weekly life that losing it is going to be very weird for at least a couple months. I cannot thank each of you enough. From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to wish you all the very best and a very sincere thank you. Your hard work and dedication to this adventure has always meant a lot. I will definitely be tuning into each of your individual channels and maybe joining the Teamspeak from time to time. Until next time, gentlemen, signing off, Noah. Thank you, Noah.
P.S.
Sorry, I didn't say it. P.S. Joel, if you ever sell your Joelism book, I would gladly reimburse you fully for a copy. Feel free to contact me through YouTube or email. Well, I just finished it. I'll bring it out in a little bit, but I'll make the link available. So it's a really high price.
This is a very merchandise-heavy episode.
Yeah, that's true. We're all doing a lot of merchandise.
Bye.
Joel, how much are the books? Because there's a low, like...
I got this when it was literally 40% off, and it was $35. It's like $50 because it's like a
ooh,
one-off
jeez.
place.
I don't know if you guys should buy that. No,
It's like a college textbook price.
Yeah, but it's
102
pages
but
of
you'll learn
the
a lot
very
more.
best.
Yeah.
Hold it up for us, Joel, and give us a Joelism.
Yeah, give us a Joelism. Look.
Yeah, it's like a when the author does a reading.
Yeah, so here's a book. A collection of wisdom. It's a good coffee table book. Let's see. Let's see. Here
When
we go.
people pick it up off the coffee table. what the
Page
hell am I
17.
reading?
The first step to resurrection is admitting you have a problem. That's the very first. Oh man. I'll wait till you're out like a log.
To do what?
I'm barely even tasting the surface of the game so far. Wait, tasting? Touching the surface? Seeing the surface? What am I trying to say? Scratching the surface.
All right. Finley wrote into us on Patreon and said, "It's sad to hear the podcast is ending, mostly because I just upped my pledge the day before you announced it. All jokes aside, I enjoyed the podcast very much and wish all the hosts the very best of luck for the future." We also have a couple short messages from members of the Casual Shenanigans gaming crew. Tyler says, "I love you guys. I've made a lot of friends that are great. Thanks for the good times, boys." Tyler. It's your house, man. I don't know what's making that noise. Recording
Sounds
so
like
good?
a snake.
Yeah. Ben says, "Essentially, you guys are some of my best friends, and I'm losing my favorite podcast. I love that you guys don't do the podcast for a living because it shows it's really a product of passion and not necessity."
And we would be living in poverty.
Just like bye. Just like Henry. It adds more authenticity and enjoyability. You guys talked about it in the last podcast, more reference to stalkers, but I really enjoy the podcast because it's like hanging out with you guys, listening to the conversation, just I'm not participating. The podcast has been a ton of fun, and y'all have helped me through a lot. And then Amelia.
It's all the weird
Her
spellings.
name is written, in GroupMe it's written as Emilio. You guys are awesome. I wouldn't know you or be friends with you if Shane hadn't told me about this random podcast he watched one day. You guys all mean a lot to him and to me, and so is the podcast. Thank you guys. James, there's another bit of mail in the doc.
This is from the Lanky Soldier. Hello there, guys. And Joel. All those years of podcast listening, not everything lasts forever, I guess. It's been a pleasure, and thank you for the dedication you guys provided. I was listening to you guys back when I was studying and continue to do as I entered my boring adult life. Welcome to boring adult life. Thankfully, my passion for video games remained the same. I've mentioned it before, but I can't remember which episode was my first, but it was 20-something. So you can imagine how it became part of my weekly routine over the last 5 to 6 years. Heck, you guys even inspired me to produce my own podcast with friends. Well, maybe you can take up this mantle. Even though we only managed to manage... Hey, stop moving the dog.
Oh, sorry.
Don't do it. Even though we only managed to 42 episodes, but as I look back at it, it was all worth it. Long story short, stop typing on the document when I'm reading. Long story short, this is what happens when you use Google Docs, is people are editing as we're doing stuff. I was doing it at work earlier, and it was like, like I would like copy and paste and like go, bloop. Where did everything go? Long story short, thank you guys for the service and entertainment. It's sad that the podcast has to end, but hopefully your channels will continue to grow. I will continue to follow their developments like I always did. Stay casual. Tom, the lanky soldier. P.S. Can you guys please make the document public with Joel's Joelism moments? No. Joel makes money off it. The public deserves it. Maybe you should start like a Twitter, just the Joelisms.
Ooh, that's true.
That would be great, Joel. Twitter would be a good format for that.
I'll go launch my book right now.
And then you could sell the book on the Twitter page.
That's a good idea, actually.
Thanks, Link.
It's good to see some familiar faces writing in. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Even just the live stream community that you guys have been coming out each week to drop those dank memes in the chat for Joel. Put in those dab requests while you still can, guys.
Joel, give him a dab. Give him a goodbye dab.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe at the very end. I gotta save it for last.
All right.
You can get the stream before the screen.
All right, I got a topic for us. What gaming stuff are you disappointed that didn't happen over this 5+ year run? Now there's one big one. Literally the thing we started the podcast for. Oh, I'm good. I got a bit. Besides the DayZ standalone not actually releasing to a finished product, what gaming stuff would you think would have happened by now that hasn't?
I don't know if I would say what happened. Red Dead coming out after the podcast ends kind of sucks, because we've been talking about that lovingly for a couple years now.
Yeah.
Trying to get Dave to play the game.
I mean, I'm kind of going backwards here, but one cool thing that happened is Kingdom Come actually releasing and succeeding. So we interviewed them in 2015, and then Joel and I got to talk to him at E3 last year, and it's just kind of cool to see that, over the course of the podcast, it actually succeeded. But as far as things that didn't happen, I think it's kind of sad that we don't play as much Battlefield as we used to.
I wasn't going to say Battlefield. I was going to say just we don't have a game that we all play together like we used to.
Why don't we play Nightcrawlers anymore?
We do. There's Wildlands. We do play Wildlands together semi-regularly. But that's probably my biggest thing is I kind of wish there had been something that was there to take the place of DayZ when DayZ went away.
I want to add to DayZ, we never got a good survival open world game.
Battlegrounds doesn't count.
Yeah, it doesn't count. And
Metal Gear Survive is out. Have you seen that?
That's something. Everybody seems to love it though.
Do they?
No, nobody.
There's another reviews I've looked at too. Yeah. Do you think of anything, Joel?
To me, honestly, within all these years, we've not seen a new Valve game. Anything.
That's true, because Portal 2 came out before the podcast started.
Portal 2 was 2010.
Yeah.
And all we've seen from then was just CSGO. That was it. I think that was 2011. or 2012. That
Well,
was
we have all the skin updates that came after that, so that probably makes up for the lack of Half-Life.
but like,
I mean, honestly, I think I just look at it as the Valve is shut down. They don't.
oh
they
yeah,
don't make
yeah.
games
No, like
anymore.
honestly, I'm honestly really, if they announce a Half-Life thing, I'm not really excited for it anymore because I know that no, I'm actually being serious because all the developers that I was really excited about
That's true, they've all
are
left.
gone. So I mean, like,
It doesn't. It's not.
sure,
really
I'd be
Valve
interested
anymore.
to see like who.
It's like if
I'm
they
not
make
dumb, I'm
more
gonna-
Star
I would watch
Wars
the
movies,
trailer. Yeah.
and they don't have George Lucas. At first, you're like, well, what does it matter? They're like, wait a second.
Joel, you seen this?
I think it's just like the passion. Oh yeah, freaking Final Fantasy is getting Half-Life Gordon Freeman costume. Why that? Why are they? Oh, yeah, like that. It just pisses me off that like this is a long time. 5.5 years, we've heard nothing from Valve. Nothing. All their team left.
So like 5.5 years. It's 2018.
I'm sorry, I guess from starting the podcast.
Oh, okay.
But even those
Okay.
years, we heard nothing. Like, there were so many rumors of things. I just think it was just depressing to see that Gabe Newell, someone who I remember just love, like, when E3 came around, you just want to hear him talk because this guy was essentially, he always reminded me of, like, the Steve Jobs, you know, of, like, gaming in a way, where it's just like, when he showed up, like, something was going to be special, you know what I mean?
something big
He was going to show some new tech that was going to be like, whoa, this is awesome. And then I remember
age has passed us, Joel. The age of the elves is over.
I remember seeing. Do you remember when the Portal demo in Source 2? It was official that it was Source 2. There was a Portal VR thing or whatever, and the demo looked really cool. This thing they were showing off behind closed doors. Nothing yet with it. No Left 4 Dead. Nothing with it. I'm just like, the fact that they just don't say anything about it. And I think that's something I give huge props now for Bethesda. Is, people keep on asking, hey, when's the next Elder Scrolls? He just goes, hey, it's going to be a long time. And he says, yes, of course we're making a new one. Like, can you guys at least just say, hey, actually, guys, no, we're not making anything right now. It's hard to explain. Like, it would take a while. We could explain that, you know, something. Like, if they just said something, but I was so surprised that
That's one thing.
It can't hurt them. It literally can't. They can just say reasons. People would love to just know.
What do you think, Dave?
I just don't understand.
That's smoky.
One criticism I have of coming from a creative background, this is going to sound like just big boy manager talk. I don't want to, but one criticism I have of teams that are purely creative, like Valve is they can be kind of stupid at business sometimes. Like,
Oh, yeah.
you got to stink and put a game out every once in a while, or communicate to your fans. Like, you can't just ride on love forever because
But they're rolling in money.
they are. No, they are.
That's the
I'm saying
thing.
as far as you
They
can't
don't
do
really
it.
have to be
They
creative
can do it.
anymore.
They have a monetization strategy, but if they want to consider themselves to be that, like, somebody needs to be over there actually making them do something. Like, whether, even like Joel said, even if it's announcing we're not doing anything, like, they just don't understand.
Yeah, that's
so many game
that's
companies. That's
embarrassing.
why you have professional PR people work for you, even when they mess up.
Yeah.
Like, their job is to help communicate things to the public, and Valve
And
just doesn't
Gabe
do
used
it.
to be. He used to like. I used to watch tons of lectures he would do at various schools about game design, and you don't ever see that anymore. He's like not in the news. No one. You know what I mean? Like, it's just sad. It's almost just. In a way, okay. In a way, Gabe Newell always reminded me a little bit of, like, as a kid, you kind of reminded me of the Willy Wonka of, like, game developers. Like,
I can see
you know what I
that.
mean? Like, it just seems like they close the doors. It's like, guys, Valve's about to announce something. It's like Willy Wonka is coming out to say something really special. And it was just always pissed me off that he just didn't, you know, they didn't say, guys, we honestly tried. We tried to make this game, but we're stuck in that thing of like we know it has to live up to something awesome. But I feel like they got crushed by this ability that they have to make something new and perfect, and it's got to be mind blowing. Where I think they're just too scared to almost even try, and then I think because there was almost no direction, where they just said, "Hey, we got to let things just go and see what creative bubble, whatever happens," and then no one did anything with it. So it's sad that they haven't said anything about it. It's like. I don't think there's anything that could hurt them by just actually talking about, hey, we haven't settled on the game yet. Like, we're busy with Steam. We some people moved away or whatever, and it's like those are the people that really drove that. Maybe he's at the age where he's like, I'm not ready to go jump in 3 years to build a game again or something like that. So it's like, whatever. I just want to know. It just sucks that, especially being on a cliffhanger, I think that's what sucks. It'd be like if Witcher 3 ended halfway through the game, just randomly ended, and it's like,
continued.
and then they just said, oh yeah, we're not sure if we're making games anymore.
Dog takes
What?
off like insane and they just stopped making Witcher games.
Yeah, but they never actually say that. It's like, guys, Witcher 4 is going to blow your minds. But first, here's all these GOG.com skins, and that just goes on for 10 years.
Right. Yeah, that's a pretty good disappointment there. I guess we're going to talk about disappointments.
So about disappointments of things that we thought would happen that haven't happened.
Yeah. Do you have
It's
one?
a good time to make a Norman joke.
Time to make another drink. Not that one.
Yo,
What?
you bought that one. Well,
Let me finish my water.
I bought that one.
So I don't go blind.
I will say, speaking of our lack of playing Battlefield, I think a big nail in that coffin was Battlefield 4. That was a
Yeah,
real big
it
disappointment.
pretty much hurt the community and everybody's memories of Battlefield as a franchise to the point where Battlefield 1, like, people played and enjoyed, but it was never going to be quite the same thing again.
Yeah, man, and that's when you heard a franchise that's been around for 15 years with a launch like that. That's ugh.
Well, EA's in a bad place right now, kind of.
Also true.
Not monetarily.
Do you guys-
Not monetarily, but you know, the rumors floating around that Disney wants to go with other publishers.
I really
for
hope
their
that's
games.
true.
I hope that's true too.
Do you guys feel like from even the start of the podcast to now, I feel like there's more and more games. Like I just
More
feel like
good games?
Yeah, like there's
Yeah.
there's good games, but there's just so many. Because even like with Battlefield, I think it lost its window so fast because I was really excited about it. Playing that beta was awesome. I loved it. I think I played like 10 hours of it when the short period I had of time with it. I know Edgar liked it, and then it came out and it was so bad. It like I feel like it wasn't even that long where I was like I just don't want to go back. It was like 3 weeks or 4 weeks.
Battlefield 4.
Yeah, Battlefield 4, and I was just like, I don't know. Like it sucked that time I played it, and then like even now after it's patched, I think it is pretty. Like I'm sure it's in a good place now for the
Yeah,
game.
we played it like right before Battlefield 1 came out. Battlefield 4 was in great shape.
But I'm like, it's kind of like,
cares at that point?
it's sad almost like it lost its window of opportunity, and it's like, well, there's so many other things coming out. It feels like TV shows nowadays. Like, please make your season shorter so I can watch you.
Yeah, I know. I was looking on Netflix, I see an 8-episode season, I'm like, ooh,
Yeah, I know.
we might finish this month.
If I open a show that I like and I see like 24 episodes, I'm like, well, nope, can't do that. Can't do that.
Well, I tried.
Yeah, well, I tried.
Ben wants to know, what are some things that did happen over the last 5 years that we didn't expect or were a total surprise?
I think for me personally, how incredible The Witcher 3 was like almost like a relief because you and me especially were so hyped up on that. That was awesome.
A relief, and I think it was also...
two though. That was a pretty drastic.
That was a pretty drastic jump too, but still they went from
2 to 3.
They went from good games that we really like to defining games for the genre.
Yeah,
and for me, I think that was really important
It
because
also went from like niche audience to like mainstream.
Cosplayers at
A lot
conventions.
of people. I mean, it's come up with a movie.
Actually, speaking of Witcher 3, appropriately enough, perhaps for the end of the podcast, I posted my last Witcher 3 video this month.
nice.
And I finished all of the question marks in Skellige, all of the random treasure hunts. I have maybe 3 or 4 hours of like bandit hunts and stuff in Toussaint. And the game is like 100% like all the achievements that I can do, all the question marks, like literally everything.
This will be me with Kingdom Come. They will be done. That game.
For me,
I was just holding my cheeks.
Oh, that game.
I think for me, The Witcher 3 was important because it showed me that I could still be that excited about a game. Oh, there it goes.
So say we all.
Dell's taking off, blowing right into the mic. Here, I'll just put
What is running?
my
Oh,
shirt
yes,
over
okay.
the fans on this side.
Something else just started running in the background.
I would say Wildlands, looking amazing,
That's
and then sucking really hard.
and
then
then
being really-
that's true. That was probably the biggest.
That was a double like mislead. Gotcha.
Yeah, because it first came out, E3 were like, it's gonna be amazing, and then E3 the next year, we're all like, oh.
Oh yeah, I remember.
And then we played
we're done.
And then we played the beta, and we're like, oh.
When you heard the voice chat and it was like, guys, you guys have the motorcycle? Yeah, I got the satchel charge. Y'all ready? Heck yeah, I was born ready. And I was like, yep, well, I'm done.
No, there is a worse one. Remember the E3? They did the live demo of The Division, where someone was like,
Oh, gosh.
they're like slowly creeping their way through, like, wait, is Alex here? And Alex is like, hey guys, I'm gonna hop on my tablet real quick and play and be Overwatch. And they're like, all right, sounds great. That's a thing that never really happened.
What was the name of that?
That's how you always join our games, though. You're always like, guys, sorry I'm late a little bit, but I got on my iPad Pro to play the thing. I'll take care of your flank, guys. I'm pretty sure that sounds.
That's how us gamers talk. Yeah.
That's how we talk.
What was the name of it when the character goes rogue in the game, in Division?
Oh, I don't
What's that
remember.
term?
Yeah, oh yeah, I know what you're talking
Remember when
about.
they were talking
Berserk?
about... No. I can't remember, but it was something in their presentation. It was
Shane would know.
It was so
Shane would know.
cringy.
I know what you're talking about. Like, what is that though? Gosh, I feel like that game just came out like months ago, and it's 2 years old.
Almost 2 years, yeah.
God,
Then hop back
I
in.
thought Far Cry 4 just came out like maybe a year.
that
and
was
a half
that was a
ago.
launch game for the Potato Masher.
Golly.
This podcast has been out since 2012.
We actually have to end this podcast so we can
Oh, it
catch
is
up on
Rogue.
games and TV shows.
Rogue? They've done Rogue, right? Okay. It's going
Sorry.
Please help me! I'm drowning in shows and games.
Like every Thursday night, it's like a rigid schedule.
Hey, Joel, you know what we can do next Thursday?
Play Kingdom Come.
Batman vs. Superman Director's
Oh
Cut.
yeah, director's cut. I've been needing to watch that.
Watch it tonight.
This was a trap.
I drove!
I feel like E3 has gotten better over the years. Like,
It's gotten better, but also still part of it has refused to grow up. You're like, the part that frustrates me is I'm like, guys, like hire a real writer. Like just get a real writer, hire a real presenter. These games cost $100 million. Spend a couple $1,000 on hiring people for your $1 million E3 presentation package.
Don't let the
but
CEO write.
think about it. Think about maybe 5 years ago when Ubisoft was doing their presentations. They had like dancers on stage and stuff like that.
yeah.
It was really cringy. It's gotten a little better, especially Bethesda coming in and doing a pretty serious presentation.
That's a good point. The cringe level for E3 is definitely way down. Last year was pretty boring, I would say.
Yeah. I think E3 has like mid-years, like video cards. Or
TikToks.
CPUs.
CPUs.
Hexaquan.
Hexaquans.
There's an old school.
Yeah, the E3 we went to was definitely like Super Mario stuff like that was really cool, but there was no like the big announcements and stuff like that.
The good news was that because it was a slow E3 last year, Joel and I basically had literally half of a day for Kingdom Come Deliverance. Dude, we were in their booth for so long.
Dave, after playing it now, I feel like we didn't take full advantage of that time we had there.
Did you get to play
To
Mario?
worship them.
Joel pulls a shiv, close the cubicle doors. I am playtesting for the rest of E3.
Did you get to play Mario at E3?
Yeah.
Nice.
We waited in line for like an hour.
Yeah,
for
like
Mario.
that. Like it was just more of seeing the environment. It was neat seeing the guy who played or does the Mario voice. That was cool. I will say I think E3 this year is going to be pretty awesome.
Yeah.
If we have one game that I'm really excited
to see
about.
Red Dead 2.
Oh yeah, Red Dead 2 is gonna be awesome, and then that teaser that looks like it's gonna be Bloodborne 2. I'm really excited about that. That could be announced. There's a couple other things I can't think of right now, but I feel like this E3 is gonna be pretty awesome.
Somebody had the suggestion, go around and talk about our favorite moments from the podcast.
I feel like that was the clip show.
A little bit, yeah. Oh, the clip show, episode 219, if you haven't seen it yet.
Mine has always been the Skype challenge.
Explain the Skype challenge for
What's
the
the
chat.
Skype challenge?
Seeing if I can get Joel to laugh in the middle of the podcast without anybody knowing why he's laughing, and then watching Joel hide, he goes,
I know that ticked Jeremiah off probably many times. And
It did.
some of my favorite times was completely zoning out during the tech. Man, I lost it. I'm so sorry, but
That's your
lost
favorite
it.
time. That's
That's
your
my
favorite
favorite
time is when you ignored your friends because they were talking about something you didn't care about, and your favorite moment was like, "Don't give a shit." Don't give a shit."
No, like it's not that I ignored. It's that I literally could not force myself to listen to that part. You guys did such a good job talking about tech that I could not handle it. So my brain wanted to explode. No, I think,
moving beyond
I think one of
incredible insults.
my favorite moments is when we went and visited you and we did the live. I think didn't we do a live podcast or just hang out? With
No, you just came and hang out. That was
we
one-
just hung out.
That was one of
That
my.
wasn't even on the podcast. That was my favorite moment of the podcast.
"My favorite time of the podcast was not on the podcast."
No,
did we see Fast and Furious, or what did we do?
We watched Interstellar the next day.
That's
It was awesome. We all laid around the apartment, did absolutely nothing.
In the air conditioning, because it was like 96 outside.
Yeah,
It
and
was
then just
crazy.
watched Interstellar.
We closed the blinds. It was like tight as they would go.
No, but we put that on the podcast though. I remember. We
you did
actually
put the presentation
we
of
did
the
put the
thing.
presentation on the podcast. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you
I
guys
don't know
showing
what
up.
episode that was, so I guess it was
Shane's asleep, so we don't know.
Because I remember telling everyone, "Hey, let's do this. We'll make it for the podcast and recorded audio." That was pretty fun.
Yeah, I really appreciated that. It meant a lot.
It was fun. Everyone all gearing up, doing a night trip. It was cool.
Gearing up.
And I remember. It was initially we were gonna force you to eat guacamole, and Hope says, "Please don't." I was like, oh, "I want to. I won't."
That would have been a good podcast finisher. We just tied Jeremiah to a chair. A lot of rope.
A lot of
The three of you could not tie me down and make me eat guacamole.
Keep drinking more, maybe.
By Odin's beer.
By Odin's beard.
Joel, he got the poker in the fire. We're going in.
Like, James is the only one who has a shot. Because, like,
I think between all three of us, we could. Yeah.
We could do it.
Yeah. We'd have to go full out.
Look,
I would
look,
probably
let me
use
put
this chair and bash you.
let me put it this way. I will hurt you very badly.
Yeah, I know. We would be
You'll earn
suffering.
it.
We'd
You
be
would
suffering.
earn it.
Yeah, we would have to earn
Like, you'd be crying forcing the guacamole into my mouth. I'd be biting your fingers.
it. Jaw ripped half off.
Let's get the funnel for this drink.
Although you've already established tonight that all it takes is me trying to do some gymnastics and I will hurt myself very badly.
Yeah, keep doing more gymnastics.
Look, guys, back. Ooh.
For those who have no idea what we're talking about, Jeremiah's wife makes incredible guacamole, and he refuses to try it.
Yeah, his wife
never
got
tried it
us,
in his life.
got me into guacamole.
My
I
wife
hated
makes the same
guacamole.
recipe now constantly. Like and now my mom makes the same recipe, like Hope's recipe for
Yeah.
guacamole, because it's so good, and he won't even try it. It's spreading like a virus.
Joel yesterday told me that if he slid $500 across the table, that I would try guacamole right now. And I said no. And said, Joel, I don't think he understood this. I want to explain it to you guys. Dave, I think you'll appreciate this. I said no. Not because $500 isn't $500,
Which it is.
but because that means
How would you take the
Hold
500
on.
from
Hold
CSG
on,
money?
hold on.
I would do a lot for $500.
Yeah, I know.
Because that
Try
means
many things.
because that would
All kinds of things in my mouth.
because that means if I did that, that means I could be bought for $500. I can't be bought for $500.
Not buy.
It doesn't matter for
You
what.
could earn $500 for having a delicious treat. You
Right.
can say yes, sir. You're not being bought. You're just
I
like,
could be
oh
bought
wow,
for
that's a great
$500.
idea.
Now, Joel,
Trying new things is one of the beautiful things about living this life.
I'm glad you brought that up. I have made Joel an offer that he has not,
what's the offer again?
that he has not accepted.
What's the
yet.
offer again?
We want to do this live?
Yeah, let's do it live. I
All
agree
right.
with.
You really forget?
I'm actually forgetting right now.
All
I'm
right.
kind of nervous because
This
I
will, now
forgot.
be, this will now be the rated R portion of the podcast. If Joel
Oh yeah!
What is this?
if Joel gets a butt plug with a furry tail on it, cuts a hole in the back of his gym shorts, puts it in, and goes and does a workout at his gym, I will eat a huge bowl of guac and a whole bag of chips. And this was actually Joel's idea.
Wait, so that's $500 worth of entertainment?
No. I can't be bought for $500.
You
I
can be
would do
butt
it.
plugged for $500.
And what I told him was,
Bought with a butt plug.
We just wanted.
I'm ready. If there was guac here right now,
Just so you guys
I'm ready
know,
to shake.
this man hates his wife this much
do
that he
it
will not try
live
the
right
most
now?
delicious guacamole you will ever damn taste. Okay, every time we come over there and we know that she's making guacamole, I eat nothing but guac. Like, I don't touch
He
anything
doesn't even use
else.
chips. He just digs into it.
It's so good.
So Joel,
Yeah.
once again,
You know, if I did that, I feel like I would own you for life. I would own you for life because I wore that in my butthole for a sweaty workout So you eat your wife's delicious guacamole, you bastard.
Fake fur would be like all mad and
yeah. Horrible.
and greasy.
Sweat.
Oh man, I would gallop.
Why?
Because I had a tail, I guess.
All right.
I feel like I would own you for life. You could never top that. Never top it. I mean, no one would ever want to. I topped it and bottomed it. If we keep, gosh, $500 from CSG right now, man. We have that money.
I have $500. I don't need $500.
But you have $500 extra for a freaking Switch or something.
Why don't you just give it to me because
Guacamole.
you've done a good job editing.
Well, we tried, but that you wouldn't take it several times.
I wouldn't take it.
Several times.
Joel, would you vape for $500?
I would
not
do.
not just a puff, and you don't get to pick the flavor.
Oh, how long? How many puffs though? It needs to be how many puffs? I don't
finish off like what?
Oh gosh,
what would be
no!
considered
A small one. A small.
I would do.
Like one cigarette worth. So 10 minutes of vaping.
You guys would choose like the nastiest flavor.
No,
too.
we would choose one you liked.
like a Dorito.
Like bubble gum.
You would choose Doritos or like a pickle flavor.
Japanese pickle Doritos.
Crusty foreskin. That's what I'm going for.
Is that a flavor?
I don't know.
A delicacy, my fine good man. Nothing better. Gallop, gallop, gallop. The fact that you would make me wear that,
Now-
that's what it would take.
Now, there was an alternative, if you remember. No tail, no hole in the shorts, 24 hours.
Okay, so no one would see. I would
No
just...
one would see.
Can you-
But you know.
24 hours!
Can you physically do
You
that
were gonna
without
eat the
injuring yourself?
biggest ass freaking guacamole bowl ever.
I'll eat 4 avocados with guac.
4 avocados.
That's a lot of guac, isn't it?
That is a lot of guac.
That's a lot of guac. That's like 3,000
not
calories of
that much.
guac. That's like a spray.
I mean that for him going from one chip of a taste to 4. I can't believe I even think of doing this.
Yeah, you are though. You are though.
We have an Adam and Eve store down the street.
Oh
Probably
man.
open at this time.
My wife's listening to this.
Is she? Mm-hmm. Joy, how bad do you want to see me eat guacamole?
She is ashamed of you.
She's ashamed of you for
Aw.
considering.
Oh, that's not nice. Joy's
Just
great.
know that Joy. There's a lot of
Joy,
She's
please
just
don't be ashamed
heaping
of
on
me.
the shame.
Joy, I like you. Please don't be ashamed.
It's like burning coals upon his head. Regrets of the
You know,
podcast. Jeremiah never tried
Her guacamole was so good. There has been many times we said, "I wish you set up just a guacamole shack where you just go up there, buy guacamole and just chips." I would love that. Man, not even a taco shack. It's just a guacamole shack where you can have a couple different flavors and.
Well, that's
That'd
our
be
suggestion.
awesome.
Remember, we
Just
talked
a
about doing
roll
my
Wouldn't that- yeah, wouldn't that be
buy and
awesome?
grab
We
stuff.
we talked about doing
Line.
my carnitas and Hope's
Yes.
Guac.
Oh, your carnitas are so damn good. Eat the guac.
Do I need to start Googling?
Is there anyone that doesn't hurt you?
James, find us a lightsaber hilt.
It needs to be blue, like Luke's.
For the young.
Who's gonna be the first one to Google that?
Joy says, "This is weird." She says, "I don't like guacamole, and I like Hope's guacamole."
Oh. Little lady in chat.
We've been
said-
trying to get him. Oh, sorry.
Little lady said, "Joel, if you do that for 24 hours, you would have exponentially more pooing and bubbling stories."
At the gym. Hey, Joel, why are you wearing a butt plug? I want my friend to try his wife's guac.
It sounds like some weird sexual thing. Like, oh, what
could that possibly be for?
like bedroom guac? Like, what are we talking about here? Like, what is that?
What if I did that and I somehow got on the news? Her guac would probably be the most famous guac
Who would
of all
put you in
time.
the news about having a butt plug at the gym? What news editors are like, "That's a good story"?
I'm just just saying, if somehow it happened. So wouldn't you be curious if you found out if you heard
32-year-old man? No one's going to be curious, Joel.
Stay tuned.
Can we make the news photo you wearing Zach's glasses?
Stay tuned after the weather for tonight's feel-good story.
Okay, Joel
come on.
feels great.
You're watching news. It's all sad, depressing. That says 32-year-old man wears butt plug so that his best friend will actually eat guac. Would you not go, all right, I gotta stay for a few more minutes. I gotta see what this is.
You have my attention.
I'm putting the room back down. Stay
He
tuned.
now permanently has to wear a diaper because he shits his pants all the time now.
Oh, man.
So do we got any more news?
Yeah,
Five years, Jeremiah.
mail?
hasn't
Do you have any
tried
more
guac.
mail?
That was...
Yeah, we have more mail. I put a couple more. I put 3 more in the chat.
We
Dave,
did.
you
Ben,
want to read one?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, which one?
Just start at the top.
Read Ben's comment.
Which one?
That'd work.
We got some
Came
mail.
up with Hope's Guac's slogan. It's so good I wore a butt plug for it.
Can you imagine trying to explain that?
Like, what?
All stopped up clock.
Oh, stop.
I don't think I'd buy that. We've got mail from Jamie here.
Butt plugs the title for the final podcast.
Butt plugs and goodbyes.
Jamie writes in, not about bug plugs. It says, Casual Shenanigans Gaming Podcast. Hey guys, thought I'd write in as it's the last episode. I love the podcast, and I think you have some great topics, and it's always a laugh. That's pretty much guaranteed. He says, I also really like the tech episodes and the casual conversation one the other day. I'm definitely going to miss listening while at work, as it always made the day more enjoyable. Although I do have a lot of backlog to go through to find some good topics, as I only joined about episode 190. Oh, he missed waffle stomping. Keep rewinding,
I
friend.
missed a lot of bad predictions too.
Oh man, our E3 predictions.
The world will end December 2012. It wasn't correct.
He says, so, I have a little question for you. Do you guys listen to any podcasts, and which ones, if you do? I'm going to have to find a replacement now. Thank you, Jamie, for writing in. Some of my personal favorites are anything from Dan Carlin for his history podcast. His World War I podcasts are free, Dan Carlin, on his website. Just look up Dan Carlin World War I podcast. They are incredible. He had a really great Blitz edition, which was 6 hours long last year, about atomic warfare, which was just super fascinating. To look at how just nuclear history, and one of my favorite parts was he basically broke down how nuclear power completely changed the balance of power in the American government. Like, the executive power has to have that like quick launch authority. And he's had a really interesting way of breaking it down, where it's like
Like a button on a desk.
yeah, like basically that, you know, Congress has the authority to, like, you know, declare war and all, but the president has to be the one that has instant launch access. It was his breakdown in that Blitz edition was fantastic. So Dan Carlin for history stuff, really, really good.
For gaming podcasts, I'd recommend the Kind of Funny Games Daily podcast and the Kind of Funny Gamescast. I also like Dan Carlin's Hardcore History a lot. I like the Pirate History podcast, but one of my favorite times in history is colonial piratism and the golden age of piracy. So, golden age piracy, not piratism. That's not a word.
I like that though.
I also enjoy some car ones. You guys won't care about the Smoking Tire and Dialed In. The Daily from the New York Times. I enjoy that because it's like a little bit of news on the way to work every day, read in an overly dramatic voice. And then I also like Death, Sex, and Money. Have you guys ever heard of that? It's just interviews with interesting people.
Huh.
So
Sounds like my weekends. No, I'm just kidding. We're like
All
laying
right.
on the couch on Netflix and
And Netflix also has Death, Sex, and Money.
yeah, those are the main ones I listen to.
If you want to be sad about Star Wars. No, actually, it's a great podcast. Rebel Force Radio, really good. Not gaming, it's just Star Wars.
That's appropriate.
It'll make you happy and sad, depending on how you like The Last Jedi. And if you like gaming news, Casual Shenanigans Go way back and start. You got 220 episodes.
Pretend like it's all fresh news.
Yeah, like
it's
gaming
all
history.
fresh news. Yeah, you got to be able to hear how early access started and failed, and the rise of
How
loot
we hated
boxes.
it in like 1 year.
What about you, James?
I love Star Talk. So Star Talk, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and generally has a comedian co-host. But they've expanded to just not just focusing on space and science and stuff, but also like sports and the science behind sports. So whether it be swinging a bat or it's really cool. So they've done a lot of expanding.
Cool. All right, that I think is all of
That all the news?
the podcast we listened to. Iron Man wrote in and said, "Hey, CSG crew, unfortunately I'm not able to make the live stream for the last show. However, I just wanted to thank you all for the hours of entertainment, laughs, and thoughtful conversations. Again, good luck to you all. Also, thank you, General Dave, for the salute."
You only get one.
Bender wrote in and said, "Evil Viking was a big part of what inspired me to start YouTubing. I'm just a baby YouTuber, but I'd like to shout out at least a thanks for that. If there's any more I could do to get involved, let me know. I may put together a video of my builds on my PS4 as a tribute. They're pretty crappy."
Don't advertise it like that, though.
Or do, because that would be fun to watch. My builds are crappy. Watch my...
Bryant wrote in and said, "Hey guys, I was indescribably sad when I found out the podcast was going away. I immediately went to YouTube to check the show comments, hoping for a just kidding or a schedule change type of response. This is the only podcast I tune into on a weekly basis. I just wanted to let you know how much I enjoyed you guys doing this podcast. It has brightened my workday, brought me endless laughter, and expanded my PC gaming horizons. Thanks so much for the time and efforts all of you have put into it over the years, on mic and off mic. I will absolutely be subscribing to everyone's social media, and of course, looking forward to the day when Norman finally comes out. Jeremiah, the man, the voice, the legend, good luck to you and keep lifting heavy weights. Joel, probably the one who made me laugh the hardest and most often, especially your reverent love of the waste management industry. Papa James, the Nintendo godfather. Nintendon, possibly.
Ooh, that's
The
good.
Nintendon.
I like that a lot.
I hope life brings you unending happiness. Keep being awesome. Dave, the beard.
It's piling.
Dave, the beard, the ranger. Thanks for all the awesome hours of advice from CS Tech. I think I'll miss that the most. And of course, creating a special place for The Witcher 3 in everyone's hearts. I can't see Geralt or hear any reference to him without thinking of you. I'm sorry to see you guys go, but I'm sure you're looking forward to relaxing and not having extra hours of work piled upon you every week. Just know that you will be missed dearly. Brian.
Man, I won't have to scour through the internet to find gaming news.
10 minutes before the podcast
I
starts.
know. And then find none. And then look at my phone at funny gifts that James sends me.
Scroll.
Really? The tech podcast? That was his favorite? All right.
People like the tech podcast, you ass.
I'm the ass who won't have the guac for that
You
everyone says
don't
is
always
the
have to be
best.
bringing that up. There's lots of things you won't do.
Really? What?
But
Slut plugging and vaping, Joel. Come on, everybody's doing it.
Playing Arma with your friends.
I played
Now,
3
James,
times.
have you enjoyed Arma more?
Yeah, I have.
I mean, and I think we all admit it's clunky at times and everything. Like we admit its shortcomings. But
still scheming.
What helped me though was getting a better computer because mine it was right at that threshold where.
Oh yeah, that new CPU probably is chewing it up.
Yeah,
That powerful rig.
the soon to be overclocked rig.
Any other mail?
Yeah, we got one from James. He says, different James, not you.
Not right into the podcast.
He says, I'm betting you're going to get a bunch of these, so I'll make this short. I started listening around episode 80, and you've been top of my podcast feed ever since. I just wanted to say thank you for the advice you gave me on building the beast that still sits under my desk, the gaming and tech news, all the weird tangents, and the Joelisms. Congrats on reaching 220. If I were to give you a score for consistency, it would be 7 Magic Castles of the Lost Night out of 12. Also,
Terrible score.
That's nutty.
We're not getting bonuses, guys.
also, any idea when Norman will finally be finished?
Have you guys heard any news about Half-Life? Keep watching.
The third morning, look to the east for David.
Look to the east for David.
that made
No, it'd be really slow.
Joel, can we get one more accent before the podcast is over?
Another accent? I mean, you always know the one I can do.
I was going to ask for an Italian Dracula.
Hey, Joel.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I should do that.
All right.
I'll say that toward the end.
All right, because I think we'll do a whole section of that.
Yeah, that'll be it.
Someone just followed us on Twitch. Sorry.
Wrong time.
You do anything on Twitch?
Shut it down, boys.
Put my internet back in, damn it. My house.
I did bring this sexy book back.
Why, Joel, for all our audio listeners, what do you have with us?
This is a special book written by Mary Rosenblum called Chimera, author of The Drylands. Man, is it dry.
Joel, are we about to have a special reading tonight?
Yes, unfortunately, we never made it all the way through. I'm not sure why.
I think it's because after about week 8, you're like, I'm going to stop doing this and see if anyone notices.
That majestic prose needs to be...
So I'm going to read from page 132.
I feel like we skipped a few.
Yeah, we skipped a few. I just kind of...
You should just see what's on 220.
see what's on...
Read your
Yeah.
Someone else is following us on Twitch. Guys, if anyone listening to this current show is following us on Twitch, that's a bad idea. Nothing's going to happen on Twitch.
Even if we were still doing
Yeah,
the
I'll see what it
podcast, nothing would be happening on Twitch.
All right, guys. Settle in for 132. The writing just keeps getting better. The eyes, blood roaring in his head. What do you want? He croaked through his bruised throat. This can't be happening, a part of him cried. But it was happening. I don't know where Flander is. Neither do we. The waiter looked down at him, impassive. We're going to do a little damage to you, and he gets a copy. It's a trade. You for him. He jerked his head. You got the net, Jack? Turn him on! The blonde man squatted beside David, then grabbed his braid and pulled his head slowly back until the cords in his neck stretched tight. And David wondered if his neck would break. Serious pain brings a high price. Jack said softly. He stroked David's cheek, tracing the line of his jaw, his fingers traveling slowly, almost sensually down his back. David shuddered. Nice that you're netted too. We get inside and outside viewpoint. 2 for the price of 1. And the S&M market's always hot, babe. Oh no! His fingers lingered, exploring slowly across David's buttocks. Oh no! We never told.
Discovered the butt plug. How long's that been in there, baby?
We never told our contractor that he'd get the only copy.
Where did that come from?
He found the embedded interface above David's right hip, then dug in hard enough to make David wince as he made sure. Check it, he said, slapping a remote patch onto the spot. Do you realize that's only half of the page?
Keep going.
Oh my gosh.
How do you fit so much cringe in your...
You got it. The waiter had moved around out of David's sight. He's recording and we're getting it. Get him on his feet and let's go. Jack slid a video band over his forehead. An eyelid node would track the camera so that they recorded in sync with Jack's eyes movement. Hold his head. I don't know why I read it. Hold his head. He slid another band
really
down over
changed the
David's
meaning
forehead,
like that.
snugging it tight. Watch where you hit him, the waiter said. Don't mess up the sink. Jack merely grunted. David struggled as they yanked him to his feet, but it didn't get him anywhere. The waiter held his arms. Jack stood in front of him, pulling on fingerless gloves, his expression pleasant. Good for you if your buddy comes across soon. Good for us if he doesn't. He was looking forward to this. David stared in his pale eyes, reading anticipation and excitement like lust. A cold hopelessness was rising like a tide inside him. threatening to suffocate him. Someone wanted Flander in the flesh. To kill him? To make sure this time, I'm going to hurt you a lot. That was the page.
That was one page.
That's why I
Yo, let me
can't
see. I want to see the book. I just want to hold it up for the camera. Guys, if you want to continue this adventure after the podcast is over, look at that cover art right there. Let's see if it's...
Joel, there's a meme you need to look at. Ben just posted it in the chat.
Chimera.
It's so good I wore a butt plug.
Holy guacamole!
Holy guacamole.
All right, 5 people have just followed us on Twitch. You bastards. Oh, I got a section. Thank yous. Want to do some thank yous?
Let's do it.
Yeah. Is that all the mail? Do we all?
Yeah, it's all the mail.
Cool.
I'll start back at the beginning. Thank you to Steve and Chris, who probably never hear this, but original co-host of the podcast. Chris was my roommate in college and one of my best friends. Steve was his roommate. I ended up shooting Steve's wedding. They're both very fine people. They went on to do other things in life. Steve got married, had a kid, is, I believe, becoming a nurse. And Chris also got married and had a kid and fills his day doing many artistic things. He's a better designer than I'll ever be. So much happiness to them. I'll just go down, not in any particular order, saving one particular one for last. Ben, thank you for showing up and educating us on how much we were exposing ourselves to the internet, mostly because someone just followed us on Twitch.
Oh my gosh. What's with our Twitch tonight?
I think it's people in the live chat. But thank you, Ben, for showing up and starting out being kind of creepy, telling us how we're exposing ourselves on the internet, and then turning out to be a decent, normal person. He's kind of...
And then becoming creepy again, telling us how to get rid of hiccups.
That's true. But Ben has turned out to be an awesome guy. We're glad you're around, man. You're a good friend. Amelia, thank you for squiring Shane around all these years.
Thank you for importing Shane to America
Thank you
for
for
us.
importing Shane to America for us.
Fine imported.
Locally sourced Shane.
Thank you for playing GTA with us. Thank you for putting up with, everything.
And playing Daisy with us for a little while.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe we'll do that again sometime.
The Dark Souls 2. Shout out to the Dark Souls 2 for being some of the best guests we've ever had on the
Fantastic.
podcast. Along that same note, shout out to Scanner Barkley.
He's back now.
Yeah, he started doing YouTube videos again. We should have invited him on before we ended, but oh well.
He just yelled at us real quick and then just cut the feed.
Jeff and Amy, you guys are awesome. Tyler, thanks for all the Arma, buddy. Thanks for always keeping things fresh.
Dank.
High energy, let's put it that way. But we're glad you're around. Gosh, who else? Thank you, Steven, for all your help over the past few years.
For the booze and the casual shenanigans glasses.
Oh, yeah, I still
which
think I
is
have those
basically
glasses.
shenanigans fuel.
Yeah.
Justin, Dollarwise Gamers.
I should have brought my casual shenanigans glass with me.
Oh, that would have been good. I should have brought them all.
I've got mine in there.
Yeah, thank you to Justin from the Dollarwise Gamers and other James from the Dollarwise Gamers, although he isn't around as much anymore. But thank you, Justin. Justin has become one of our very good friends. Now he has internet again after a 2-week hiatus, so I'm looking forward to playing more Divinity.
Nightmare.
Yeah. I don't know what I would do without internet for 2... Well, I don't know what I'd do without internet for 2 weeks.
I know when I moved one time, I had to go to Barnes & Noble just to have internet access for a little while. It's
I got one for those of you guys that are watching the live stream on my channel or Jeremiah's, Jerem Gaming. Thank you guys for joining us for all the shenanigans. I know that you probably didn't subscribe for that, but it's awesome that we've had a bunch of you out here coming out for the podcast in the last few months. That's been a lot of fun to see you guys hang out and chat.
And thank you to GameStop for power to the players and giving us great discounts.
Dude, constantly just power right to the players.
And he's finally here in the chat.
And the Mad Cats. It's a Shane! He's our historian!
Shane, thank you. Thank you to, I think, indisputably one of the first and greatest friends of the show, Shane the Ultra Grunt.
And currently my only companion in Battlefield.
Not true. I just bought the deluxe edition.
Bless you,
The
James.
premium pass.
Bless you, child.
Podcast historian.
He was
sweet
he was our
British voice.
Wikipedia basically for everything
Still
we
is.
didn't remember.
The clip show is half of it is entirely thanks to Shane. I've been saving clips since episode 100, but Shane gave me a list of time codes of things from the first 100 episodes. Not every episode, but like probably 70 of the first 100 episodes. And I probably couldn't have made like a good clip show without that. So that's just like the tip of the iceberg, Shane. We can't thank you enough for everything. We're so happy that you are coming to America, and we will be seeing you for your wedding. I was gonna say nuptials, but I didn't know if everybody's gonna know what that means. That's a thing.
Yeah, everybody knows what that means.
The chat's pointing out here, Jeremiah. I think, guys, that we're officially old now. We have drank a very responsible amount of each one of our bottles of booze here, and we're happy with that.
Fill me up. Hit me with some of that Balvenie.
You want that good stuff?
I want that. I'll hand it over to you, so we don't have to pour it over
Hey,
your laptop.
Jeremiah, this is my mobile Fallout settlement creator here. If you could not.
That's your mobile influencer rig.
Station. He's gonna open it up and like influencing is counting up like his influencer score.
Calculating merchandise orders.
A special shout out, thank you to Spreadshirt.
For their 15% off coupon that just appeared again for no reason.
We are smarter than you apparently think we are, Jeremiah. Oh, I didn't mean that in that
Is that
way,
too much?
lady. No, that's good. Thank you to a weird stranger. I'm sad we didn't get one last ranking.
For keeping
Me
it
too.
weird.
I'm sad we didn't get that.
But I'm happy she's been here for the past few episodes. Shout out to Mark. I don't think he is in this episode either, but shout out to him. He's been on a few podcasts, and Mark is by far my oldest friend since we were about 3 years old. I don't know who else. Who else want to thank? I know I'm going to forget people. That's why I always feel bad trying to do thank yous for
It'd
them.
be interesting to see a stats of how many people actually we
About
had
Dan.
on our podcast.
Dan and the
You know what I mean?
Greybeards.
I thought I already said Stone, did I not? Yeah, but Dan and the Greybeards, thank you so much, Stone. You are awesome.
Who would have thought that our random invite Daisy event would turn into so many shenanigans with the Greybeards, then Dan joining us full time. We converted him successfully.
Oh, shout out to Wraith Squad.
All of Wraith Squad.
All of Wraith Squad.
What is that?
The Armo group.
I can't.
Joel,
What is that
Joel,
nerdy thing?
we have real
Wraith
hats.
Squad.
Yeah, he's ready to come back to Arma.
Joel, we have hats with patches on them in real life. And Joel,
You can also get those at.
Joel,
You actually can't.
those patches are on our characters in the game.
Oh man.
Ben has a movie spoiler alerts patch.
There's an evil
Come on,
Viking
that's kind of
patch.
cool.
There's an evil Viking patch, which needs to be updated.
How about Debbie?
Oh yeah, but why we hadn't even got to like thinking wives and like Debbie's family. Like,
Yeah, but she's been also very helpful.
the bartender, the podcast bartender.
Podcast bartender. She's been a good moderator.
Yep. A good source of screaming and memes.
She's done lots of
Tyler's mom.
lots of the GTA events.
Yeah. Yeah, along that same vein, thank you to all the wives who have tolerated this going on for giving up 220 evenings.
Many more, counting special movie filmings, events, driving down for like tonight. That's a lot of Thursdays. A lot
Thank
of
you
evenings.
to John for letting us use his house for things even when we know he did not enjoy them personally himself.
Yeah, I mean, our friends and family and wives gave us Thursdays. Basically.
Wow, you sound very unhappy about this.
No. I was just thinking of the
They
logic
gave
there.
this
I was
to us.
thinking like that. That's been a lot of Thursdays that they've just known that it's not a Thursday that we do stuff. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like,
it's become an
our-
accepted
it's
thing
been a-
for so long.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh, I don't know. I've built my life. My week schedule is built around a couple different things.
Yeah.
And Arma and the podcast are two of them.
The two pillars of the week.
I remember being in. I mean, it's the two most consistent things that happen every week.
Just kidding. We're not ending the podcast. Jeremiah wants to keep his routines.
I remember. I
It's
need
just you
this.
by yourself. I have to be.
Wait a minute.
I remember being in New York on vacation and then like wanting to tune in me and Hope, that was the night we were going out for our anniversary dinner, and I didn't do it, but I wanted to just to check in at some point and see like was
You
the
were
podcast.
so worried about us in charge
To
of
be
the podcast.
fair, when I'm not here, normally you guys are like, yeah, we're totally gonna do it. So you guys give a shit, or are we just gonna do a stream of a game or something? Like that's how it feels a lot of the time. You're like, yeah, we're totally gonna take care of your baby, man. All right, here's what I'm thinking. We all sit around a recorder. We're gonna cover it in a sock. We talk very quietly. We drop it to maybe negative 30 decibels. We go play some games. Sound good?
I just remembered a good memory from the podcast. Just one. No. The mini weddings I would shoot for freelance. I remember I would call in on the phone.
Yeah.
And you would allow me to talk on a shitty mic and record that. Because I knew it would slightly piss you off because it would have to go into a different recording schedule. And whenever I call, you'd be like, I'll let him in.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like,
well, no,
go.
I would just split out that part of the podcast and then process that off.
But I knew it was always more work. But I remember always enjoying knowing what was about to happen. I was like, I'll call in to be like, hey guys! Something.
Sorry, you'd be like, what?
Hey guys!
Oh.
Gotcha!
He's like, he popped from the backseat.
He's doing a live podcast while driving.
How long have we been podcasting for?
On this stream,
Yeah.
we just passed 2 hours.
Shane says, Joel want to know how many guests you've had on. If you don't count Chris and Steve, since they were the originals, are you 4? It's 34 guests, he thinks, off the top of your head.
Oh.
Wow. Dang.
Just think we had Kingdom Come devs on the podcast.
I still remember Joel and I took our lunch at it was like 9:45 in the
Yeah, we
morning.
got our cars. We were sitting in our cars.
I remember Jeremiah was so impatient. He's like, you guys don't have this figured out yet?
We're like, we'll drive around to this side of the building. No, wait, we'll go over here. Wait, this isn't going to work out. And not knowing any context, I'm like, what could possibly be so hard about go somewhere and hop on a phone? Like, I don't
And then
understand.
Skype didn't want to work right as usual.
Yeah.
Oh man. I think it's awesome that still that Kingdom Come it just came out as we're ending the podcast. It's like we had one successful like interview and then E3 meeting, one good run all the way through the games out, and the podcast. We're done.
I was telling Jeremiah the other day that it feels weird when you play a game, like knowing that that we're ending it, playing a game, going, oh, I need to talk about that. Because we've been doing it for so long. It's like,
There's been so many
it's
things.
ingrained where like that's like, what do you call it? The spittoon, basically. Where we're like, gotta get my games about like that's where it goes.
I've never.
That's what I call
Two
it.
games.
Review.
But it's true. There's so many times when I'm playing a game, I'll think, oh, I should try this different part of it so I can talk about it on the podcast. Like, I think it'll be interesting.
I feel like I'm gonna get like the twitches around E3. E3 time where I'm like, oh, I gotta talk about this. That'll. I think that will feel a little weird.
How are we supposed to just to watch it and enjoy it if we don't make content?
I know.
Content. We could always just do like a lazy cast where we all get on the couch, all of us over at John's, and we just sink as far down into the cushions as we can until like just our heads are poking up, and we just do the entire cast like that. Just completely lazy.
We all under a blanket?
Yeah.
I was just picturing like
Circle
like
couch.
Yeah, circle couch.
Hot tub is what you're describing.
Yeah. It's been a good run.
Yeah.
I think the fact that we're ending it after 5 years on good terms and we're all still good friends, that says it all.
We're up to 7 people following us on Twitch.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Is our podcast gonna be able to go into syndication, or was it like reruns and stuff? Right?
How do you think podcasts work?
I know. They just start rerunning on various.
On where? Where are they running now?
I know they're not running anywhere. They're not, just a joke. Play in a fantasy world with me for a minute, okay?
Play in a fantasy world. You could be like
Joel, get some more
brainstorm with
fireball,
me.
buddy.
What?
Spitball
Get
with
some more
me.
fireball.
Play in a fantasy world with me.
Joel, Shane mentioned, remember the time we fake quit on the podcast?
Oh
For
yeah.
episode 100? Yeah.
Do you have a fake fight? I think.
Yeah, they had a giant fake fight, and I got actually mad.
I'm typing to Joel. Joel, say this. Say this.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're talking. I'm like,
Oh,
we say
that
okay.
was-
Yeah, I'll say that. We'll piss you off. All right, I'll say this. Dude, you were scared.
Why?
You were angry too.
Calm down.
Yeah.
I need to go back and watch that.
Was that live?
No. It was in Skype before the day before.
right- yeah,
Because we've been
right
working for
before
3 weeks getting. I
Yeah.
went back and I re-listened to the episode 100. We announced or episode 101.
Yeah.
We announced so much stuff for episode 101. Like we completely redid everything about the show. That's when
Yeah.
I think the show really got to be what it was for so long consistently. And you guys then spent that afternoon fighting about it. Fake.
Fake news.
That was. I had forgotten all about that.
Were you in on that or no?
I didn't
No,
think
I was just watching horrified from the sidelines.
I didn't think it was funny.
Dave was in his proverbial bush.
Yeah. I didn't think it was funny. I
Storming his
was
weapon.
frustrated. I was like, "Are you kidding me? Like, what are you?" I appreciated it later.
Yeah, that was.
I didn't enjoy it, but I appreciated it later. I appreciate what you tried to do.
Turning into the beast. I'll maul you both. Joel needs more alcohol. Why? What is it gonna do?
Loosen you up for the butt plug.
My other favorite prank was when Fallout 4 released, when we pretended like we all had press copies.
Oh, you were dicks. That. Oh man.
I
that was a
saved
good
the
comeback.
audio
though.
recording, but I
Did-
can't use it because of the thing you said.
yeah.
You said. Basically, for anyone who wasn't watching then, I mean, we didn't do this on the podcast, but Dave had been hinting that he might get a Fallout 4 press key, and I don't think I was ever actually in. Yeah, it was never in the works.
chance.
He'd been hinting he might get a press key, and Joel, everybody was really excited for it.
We had big plans.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Everybody was going to be hopping on at midnight, like the night it came out, to play together and everything, like hopping on a
We're
voice
all
chat
going to
together.
leave the vault at the same time.
Yeah.
It was going to be the same experience for everybody.
And then Dave started hinting that he was getting keys for Fallout 4. So then Dave,
Because I bought the little.
I know, buddy, you
Oh,
did.
boy.
You did so good.
I spent $100.
You bought the Pitbull edition and you were all excited.
Right.
And I wanted
So-
to take that away from you.
So Dave on Steam,
I will take
Name-
something very precious away from you.
Dave,
That's already been taken.
Dave,
Kingdom Come.
My girl.
sorry, Dave named a different game, like Fallout 4
and then you
press
guys
copy.
all did the same
And then we
thing.
all
Like
did the
three or
same
four
thing.
of us
And
shaking
so Joel
them.
starts chatting to us like, wait. And first you're like, wait. Part of you's excited, like, is it, you're playing now? You're playing 4 hours? What? Or it was the day early.
It was Sunday. It was 2 days
2
before
days
launch.
and you're like, wait, what are you doing? And then you start getting mad. You're like, no, because you don't have a PS4 key, of course. You're like, no, what are you doing? You can't do
We
this.
were like, Joel, we're all gonna play together. You should get it on Steam. Like, join us. And you're like, I can't.
And they were like,
And
we
then
have a
we
Steam,
finally
and then we
got
have a
you.
Steam key for you. And
It was like, why are you so gullible? or
it was like,
something.
you are so gullible, spelled like the words are broken up and spelled with letters. And he said it's not working. So we're on voice chat, and we get him to try it again. He's like, it's not working. And like, there's this little desperation in your voice, like, please don't take this away from me. And finally, we sound the name out, and there's just like 5 seconds of silence. And then Joel says, like, you beep, beep. And he's just really quiet. It's like, you.
I remember my heart was like palpitating. Like I was, because it was like, we're gonna stay up all night, we're gonna stay up till midnight, we're gonna play together, it's gonna be such a fun thing, it's gonna be a great experience. And then you guys playing it, I'm like, I was so angry, I was like, I'm betrayed! Because I remember seeing like the click, 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 and then, because when I saw, I think Shane joined it too, I was just like, oh, that I think made it clear, like, oh crap, he's got it. I'm like, because I don't know, like, he's in a different country. I'm like, oh, I'm in the time zone. I'm like, it really is working. I was like, oh shit. There's like nothing I could do about it. I'm like, oh, I was
Dave,
getting.
you actually played the game early, didn't you?
Did I use a VPN for that
I
one?
think you used VPN. But, you know, we talked about us being the Fallout brothers, that it was us three that actually played together at midnight.
Yeah,
Walked out of the vault at the same time.
And then I quit
that was
playing. I made like 5 hours in.
That was a good prank. Oh man. Good times. Thursdays are gonna be weird.
Yeah. We can always play some Ghost War together.
Ghost
Like
Wars.
right now. Dave and I can play.
Yeah, install on a laptop.
I mean, I bet my laptop will run it.
You think so?
Mine is cranking out some heat with that OBS recording.
Yeah, it's doing a whole recording. That's crazy.
Yeah, we'll feel very weird to have. To me, I think it's going to feel like
Shane
when
said he
we
launched
finish
Audacity
school.
through Steam and named it Fallout 4.
What's gonna be weird?
Like, it will feel a little bit like finishing, like when you're done with school, where, like, did you guys all have that where, like, you kind of wake up, like, in this, oh crap, I got homework, or, like, you know what I mean? Because you just got used to that rhythm of, like, this is what homework's doing. It was, like, felt weird to, like, finally, like, no, I have no more homework. I'm done with that. And now I have work. But,
Oh man, I'd say the chances are good that you guys are going to see something more from us this year. Even,
You heard it. Dave's doing a solo podcast.
Dave's got a lot of hope.
I don't think we're going to be able to stay away. I don't think it's ever going to be weekly again, but I can see some special events.
I've got my own plans.
Oh, really? I was like, oh, okay.
James is like, check out jamesshop.spreadshirt. He just clones all the merchandise. He's like, no names.
Ranger James. Average rainfall James State Park.
Dave, we totally talked about the other night coming up with a fake character named Ranger David. Start following you around and like
Acting like he's like your biggest fan.
Oh no.
Basically, we were going to stan you.
So what do you guys think? At the end, was it worth it?
Wow, that's a weird way to throw in a Lord of the Rings quote. Worth it here at the end of all things.
Of all things.
Yeah. Well, all right, let me put it this way.
Danger James.
I probably wouldn't be good friends with Joel. I met him through DayZ, but like we never met in person until the podcast had already been going.
Really?
Yeah,
So you'd come to town and meet Joel until after the podcast. Are you sure about that?
I'm pretty sure.
I mean, it's definitely possible.
Yeah. No, because the first time I hung out with you since college was mid-2012, right before we bought the camper. We went out and shot guns that one day when we both looked like children. And then I met Joel, and then the podcast started in December. We already lived in the camper. I came to
And it was
Lynchburg.
your- it was
I
your
came
idea,
to where
right?
we lived sometime after that.
Wasn't the podcast your idea?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought.
Well, me and Jeremiah, I had talked about wanting to do some kind of news, like video series about DayZ, and Jeremiah's like, I want to do a podcast. And I remember Jeremiah was doing all this hard work researching, what's a good podcast name? And I was helping him like hone it in. He's like got 20 tabs open, researching like Matrix report, like whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Okay, shenanigans, maybe extreme shenanigans. Nah, that's lame. Like he's like Minority Report. He's like literally comparing all these shenanigans names. I'm playing DayZ. I can't stop. I'm like, yeah, that sounds good. Casual sounds fine. Yeah, let's go with that. And I think it's still a fantastic podcast name.
Yeah, I think it is. Only thing I regret is the clothing company Filthy Casual started in like 2013, 2014, and they trademarked it.
Well, they trademarked Filthy Casual, but not Casual Shenanigans.
Right.
Which I think is our Filthy Casual tagline was always, it was never official. So
Yeah.
We had an official one though. What is our official one?
slap a seal,
In a reverent love of gaming.
Oh yeah.
which I also enjoyed. That didn't come till episode 100.
That was a one.
Shane says, imagine if you guys went with "We Are the Rival" as your name instead of Casual Shenanigans. Well, that didn't last long.
That's a good clan tag for a shooter game when you're young. And then you move on from it.
Dave's like, I still hold it close to my heart.
I still have the patches. Ripped off.
And I wouldn't be James's friend at all.
I wouldn't know you guys.
Yeah.
Well, that's not true.
You think?
Because I came to help work on the film. I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it would be. It
But I
would be
met
the
you
same.
guys obviously much earlier because of that.
Yeah.
But we probably wouldn't be gaming friends.
Yeah.
It is funny though, Jeremiah, that you point out that the first time that we saw each other, after 2 years after college almost, it was literally we've been playing Battlefield together, and you were like, "I'm coming through town," and I'm like, "You want to meet at property that's not mine? Just bring a bunch of guns?" And you're like, "Sure, let's."
And I didn't think it was weird at all.
Yeah, we both just literally met in the middle of a state
Why have you
forest.
changed, Dave?
No, I'd be in the bushes with sniper cover, like.
No, I will not meet you in public without your. Even if you don't have your guns, I will not meet you.
Oh man.
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing for me is just, I know what it's, I've listened to a couple other podcasts that shut down. I remember feeling what I felt like when it was a podcast I cared about. So I guess I'm sorry to everybody who really likes this podcast, because I kind of know what you're feeling right now. And it's weird that we're that podcast to some people, but I've heard from enough of you over the years know that we are that podcast for a lot of people. That's a bunch of friends hanging out talking about games. And that's why I would still ask, like, come watch Dave's videos, come watch my videos. I know it's not quite the same. Like, watch Dave's Arma videos, come hang out with us in Teamspeak sometime. Like, it's not the same as doing the podcast, but
we're not going anywhere.
yeah, the group isn't going anywhere, just the podcast. And the podcast has been the thing that's united us for a long time, but we'll just have to do a better job of doing other stuff. We're never going to get Joel to play with us again, but that's to be expected.
Unless Joel really wants to play a game and buys you all systems and a copy of the game.
Then I remember everyone joked or made fun of me for doing that. Joel, you don't have to buy us games. And I'm like, yes, I do, or I will be playing with this 2 or 3 years after the game came out, so I have to buy it soon.
And then you bought me Dark Souls 2. Well, I won it in a contest from you.
That's true.
And then it turned out I was the better Dark Souls player because I've beaten Dark Souls 3.
Is this how you want to end it?
Hey, wait. But after all the complaining about Dark Souls, you should be proud of me.
I am proud of you. You beat Dark Souls. Beat all of them. Except
Not Dark Souls 1.
But you're going to play it, right? The remaster?
I'll play the remaster, yeah. And if Bloodborne 2, if they come up with a proper summoning system, I'll play that.
And frame, right?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
You know, I think the one thing they'll probably never go away, though, is the CSG Skype chat, I feel like.
We're not going to get rid of
that
that.
group's going to be there for forever.
Yeah, we're not going to get rid of that. Although, do we kick John out at some point?
I like the fact that I want to believe that one day he's going to open up his phone and see by accident and be like, go away! I want it to be there to annoy him more than anything.
I think we should re-add John to it.
Let's have him start tagging.
Ooh, yeah, let's tag him. Let's try to tag him, guys, once a week. But let's keep it as irrelevant as possible, like something armor related, maybe.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we go? Oh, Joel, wasn't there a serial story?
Yeah, I do have a serial story. James, do you remember telling a serial story? My childhood serial story? Not like a serial killer story. Actual serial.
Which one?
Had something to do with making children work for me with cereal. Something to do with cereal. No, it's not ringing a bell.
I remember a few of your cereal stories. One, the type of cereal your mom used to give.
Okay,
And
no.
You trying to get some sweet cereal from
I
your
pulled a
friends.
con. Basically. I was, I think, 11 years old, maybe. We lived in this apartment a long time ago. It was really small, and I remember our family. We never had anything related to sugar in the room at all, like barely ever, and I was so jealous of the kids that would like hang out around, like during summer vacation and everything. You know, there's always kids there, and growing up being homeschooled, so it was always like, you know, we were always home, but then like summer vacation, yeah, we can go do stuff and kids are around. They would always have cereal. They'd be talking about like kicks and all this really fun stuff. We'd go to the grocery stores and we'd just look at the designs. I remember when the prequel Star Wars movies came out, you know, you're seeing these images or like leading up to it, or like, sorry, the 97 ones, you know, when they released, you know, the big packages had like CDs in them for games and stuff like that. They're, like, cereal was like a portal to fun, you know?
I remember when cereal boxes came with copies of Age of Empires, Clue, something else, like a couple other not very good games plus Age of Empires.
Yeah, so, like, I seriously, I remember looking at these cereal boxes and just really wanting them badly, because it was like something we could not have, and every other kid, they always took them for granted too. These kids were like, I got Trix for breakfast. I was like, Trix? You mean the one that has fruit and like all these little
artificial colors?
But that's for kids. So, oh man, oh gosh, this was really bad. I would trick the kids in the neighborhood to all play a game.
I remember the story now.
So I made like various board games and like little things, but I said we need pieces to play with, and that happened to be cereal. So they would bring boxes of cereal out because they really wanted to play this game that I really hyped up. Just so I could have cereal. I'm like,
what do we get? That you needed cereal to be game pieces,
yeah,
and
so
they brought you cereal.
And then, well, they're already out. Snacks, you know, they would have some too. But I would just have so many handfuls, just dry cereal, and I was like, oh god.
Did you ever do anything that wasn't running a scam when you were a child?
Dude, this is amazing. It's your childhood. You were the dawn of your childhood neighborhood.
This is before Kickstarter, so he had to come up with his own method before he could Kickstarter.
I don't know why I was so like, and all, that was also with like people that had like Sega or like the Sega Master System to play various games. We never had that, so I could never tell my mom that I played Dungeons and Dragons Double Dragon or any of those. Yeah, not Dungeons.
Don't ever tell your mom that, even as an adult. Don't tell your mom.
But like I would say, oh yeah, I gotta go. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get something, and I would just know I'm gonna get in trouble. But you know what? I'm gonna have 3 hours until my mom gets worried and terrified that I got like stolen, and I would be in some friend's house playing games on Sega, and then I would hear.
Why don't you just tell her you're going to hang out with?
Because I wouldn't be allowed to. Like I was not allowed to really go over to certain people's houses. There was this period of time where I was just terrified of everything. So I would just go or sneak over there, and I would just play for hours. I remember I would hear the ding dong, and I'm like, oh, that's my mom. And like my friend's like, who's that? I was like, I think your mom's at the door. I'm like, yeah, she's not upstairs yet, pulling me out of the door. So I'm like, still playing a little bit more. Gotta get a little bit more in. And I was like, see ya in a couple months. Okay, I found a would you rather. This one's for Dave. This is a pretty good one. I saved this for a little while. Okay, Dave, would you rather be able to charge your phone to 100% with just the swipe of a finger once a day, or would you be able to fill your car with gas with a wave of your hand once a month?
For your car, that's probably $50 a gas.
Actually, the Foreigner's not bad. Right now, it's about like $30.
You just need like
Gas.
Once a month.
Gas, yeah, for the value.
You see you going, oh, the money. Not going out this time.
It's 100% all about the money.
Oh man, I think I'd take the swipe with the phone. Because there have been situations like, crap, I got 14%. I'm not.
Yeah, but you got quick charging.
Yeah, but if I'm not able to go to my car and charge.
That's never happened to me. I carry 3 chargers at all times.
You carry 3 chargers?
No, I don't.
But you could avoid that. You could go bloop.
No, but do you have 2 ways to charge?
If you count cables, yes.
Yeah, I was saying, because I've got a battery pack, and then I could also plug into my computer. I mean, that's 2 ways to charge.
There was one night I just walked outside my house. My battery literally died on my phone. I walked out into the woods, just started exploring. Does that make you feel nervous, Dave?
No, because I never actually do that.
No, because I would never.
Yeah, like
Does it make you nervous that other people make bad decisions?
Yeah, you're welcome to do that. I would never.
Dave would never be caught in that scenario, ever. Actually, you might, because you would be so prepared, and you'd leave all of your prepared backpacks.
You're both Eagle Scouts, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Who's the better Eagle Scout? The one who leaves their house with their phone dead and then wanders out into the woods? Or the one that's
It says be prepared, not bring a phone with you at all times. Because Dave would be looking at his phone, checking Reddit, as he falls into a pit.
And then bear mauling.
And then bear mauling. I was like, such a...
I'm like, oh no, bear attack. Which one of the 9 rifles will I pick? Oh no, they're all tangled. Ah!
See, this is what I can see between you two going in the woods. Dave's got his manual. He's got all the stuff to T. And Joel's just like, oh, I'll just do this. Done. Dave's like,
oh no, Joel just gets out into the woods, takes all of his clothes off,
Yeah, I was about to say.
makes a loincloth, starts rubbing mud all over his body. He's like, all right, we're ready to get this survival
You've
going.
seen Predator.
And we're like, we're just going on a walk. And he's like, yup.
good walk, boys.
Got any other good would you rathers for us before we go?
That was just the one.
You just had one. You have
That's
no
one.
Just one.
That's not a game.
I know.
Would you like to play a game? What's 3 + 7? Thanks for playing.
All right, Joel. Would you rather have no legs for the rest of your life, or have to only be able to breathe through a vape box?
Oh.
Of course I would choose the vape.
Can you imagine Joel going for like a 5K run with a vape? you're like a steam engine, just like cloud of smoke behind you.
There was someone actually just a couple weeks ago.
With that. There was people walking around the house. I'm a train.
A couple weeks ago, I was driving to work, and it was a little bit warmer, and it always freaks me out when I see someone vaping in a car, because I like catch the corner of my eye. I'm like, I literally roll down and I'm like, your car's on fire! And this guy's going, I'm like, oh right, like because it like just scared the crap out of me, because it's not like coming out the back. I'm like, oh shit.
Like,
car's on fire!
His upholstery is burning right now. He's gonna die.
Yeah, the boy that cries wolf. You're like, there's a car on fire, but they probably vaped.
Yeah, yeah.
It's probably not real fire. They're like dying in there.
Yeah. This is probably grape.
Great babe.
Everybody get a drink.
It's all empty now.
Get a little bit more.
You want a dab, James?
Just a dab.
Just a swirl?
No.
I've done the dab. I've done the dab, and I've done the dab.
Well,
You're not wrong.
I can't toast any of you guys then, but I still have the glass. I still have my drink left. Anything else you want to touch on?
I don't think so.
Joel?
I don't know, man. I don't think so.
James? All right. People in chat keep recommending, oh yeah, it's time for Jeremiah to burp in Dave's mouth. No, it's not. You nasty heathens. Joel.
All right, I've got one for Dave. So Jeremiah has to burp in your mouth once a day, or you have to shave your beard off. And keep it on.
I'm coming over. I know what the answer is.
I got a razor with me. Let's do this.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
All right.
No offense, Jeremiah.
Are my feelings touched? Or...
How about once a year?
Once a year.
Once a year.
And I can do it while you're asleep.
Dave, you want
Dave.
Dave, you sleep so like soundly that I think you wouldn't even wake
I
up.
would wake up shooting.
Because Lily would wake up sitting on the well, wait, the monster, this isn't a pre-approved visitation time.
Could you imagine, Dave, all year long, you're like, oh no, I've got time. 3 months later, still 3 months. Got a month. Ooh, a week left. Oh, it's gonna happen. One day. Just in bed wait for 24 hours.
What if he didn't get to choose the day that it happened?
Oh man, dude! If it was once a year,
Well, you hear a knock. It's a certain type of knock, and you know that it's
The knock is like this. The knock is like this.
Dave, you just lean back in your chair and you just go.
It would be like the Hunger Games have arrived or something. Like once a year, the community.
After a couple of years, you
But
get so used to it. You're just playing.
If it's
You're playing a
if it's
game.
only
You
once
just tilt your head a little bit.
If it's only once a year, Jeremiah would have to be really drunk. So you get that nice alky burp.
Barbecue.
Dave would wake up and be like, "Why do I taste baking soda?" Oh, that baking soda. I've never had.
That was a great challenge.
I've never had a greasy soda before. I swear it had a film to it. Like, it coated your mouth with like a thin grease.
Well, it's been fun.
It's almost midnight. I haven't been up this late, literally, in months.
And this is where the podcast is ending, guys. Jeremiah's a big boy now.
I'm old. I'm so old.
I saw an image today that said, like, signs that you're getting older as a gamer, and it just showed, like, his Xbox 360 games, like a massive stack, and then PS4 was, like, 4 games. Except for James. He's got more games. It just gets bigger and bigger. They don't really all get played, but you just gotta use
movies,
yeah, it's just like,
Joel.
oh, that's just your movies?
Yeah, the games are in my room.
Oh, they couldn't fit out here.
No, they couldn't.
All right. Well, I think we're just beating around the bush here. It's time.
Bye.
It's weird.
You guys wouldn't get drinks, so I've got mine though.
Oh, poor little strong.
Oh, that one. Okay. All right.
No one else.
Oh, look, I've got a sip left.
There you go.
It's soda.
Ben says the plug has been pulled.
Hey, yeah.
Get in the
Let me taste
shower.
that one.
Real quick, Joel, how does this sound make you feel?
Well,
After
she
24
does
hours,
it
I'm
sound
really
like delicious guacamole.
Just a dab.
Dab will do ya.
Wait, Joel, are you going to give us an accent before we go?
What's that?
Are you going to give us the accent before we go?
You mean that's an Italian accent?
And Dave, are you going to give us a dab?
I actually probably can't do a dab
Joel,
correctly.
dab. Do a dab.
Is it like you like
Do
tuck?
this. You basically look into your...
Yeah, no,
Oh.
it's just the one.
If we were on Twitch, the podcast would be ending permanently here.
it's just one,
There you go.
and there's an armband.
Yeah,
it's
just
weird. I was at a rally.
Shave my head.
We can all end on it. Come on.
Okay. We're all gonna end with a dab.
No, we're not.
We can't.
No, we're
we
not.
cannot end with a dab. No.
It's all right, buddy. All right, now, Joel, like we said we would before.
Can I hold your hand like a man?
You can't. It's not possible. You have to grow longer fingers.
All right.
Love you guys.
Love you guys, too.
Thanks.
And to all of you, this is, I'm not. Dave, you got the splash screen?
Oh. You guys say casual.
I'm doing the outro. All right. Thank you. You can still follow us at Casual Shenanigans. You can still write to casualshenanigans@gmail.com to be a part of the show. We're not going to read them. But you can write in.
Not true.
You can follow us. Yeah, we'll read them. You can follow us on Twitch.
Read them and weep 'em.
Twitch.tv/casualshenanigans. Apparently, a lot of you thought that was a good time. You can do all that. Stay tuned. If there are any future Casual Shenanigans projects, you'll probably hear announcements from me and Dave. Check out the description of this video. For any of you that don't know, there are archives to the audio versions of every single Casual Shenanigans episode. I will put out the last show intros. I'll put out the last show intro compilation, and then you can get all the previous episodes like on iTunes or whatever else. And of course, there are videos split between my channel, Dave's channel, and the Casual Shenanigans channel. So that's all. 220 episodes. Thank you guys. We'll talk to you guys in the comment section. And until next time, stay casual.